Sir, very good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Namaskar.
Very good morning, sir. Jisinondo, sir. Very good morning.
Good.
Sir,
Good
Dr.
morning.
M.K. De is extending his good morning message to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
My namaskar to him. Acha. So we start at 10.
Sir, sharp at 10 a.m.
Am I clearly audible?
Exactly, sir. Out and out.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Because I am in a distant place, Koraput. I was afraid that if it may not work. चलो ठीक है 10 बजे शुरू करेंगे.
Exactly, sir. Sure.
ओके. सारे घंटे असुविधा होती है मेरे आशी दिए देख लो तो लोग और सब उत्साह नहीं है
सर खाली जस्ट अपन ऑन करी মানে এটাকে
Yes, let us start. Okay. So, a very good morning and warm welcome to all the learned participants, dignitaries, delegates, those who are with us in this two-day NAAC sponsored national webinar on digital transformation in higher education during COVID-19 pandemic, organized by Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Yogoda Satsanga Palpara Mahavidyalaya, Palpara, Purba, West Bengal. So in yesterday's speech, I have also told about we have already,
Sound
we are,
good.
we are thankful to the NAAC authority because of accepting our proposal and approving it accordingly to giving us the opportunity to organize this 2 days national webinar on a very vibrant topic which is a keen need of the day. So as per the program schedule, in that we are today at technical session 4. In this technical session 4, we are with us Professor Goranga Charananda, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Netaji Subhash University, Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. Sir, at the outset, on behalf of Yogoda Satsang Palpara Mahavidyalaya, on behalf of IQAC of the Mahavidyalaya, I welcome you and I extend my profound gratitude on behalf of the entire fraternity of Yogoda Satsang Palpara Mahavidyalaya because of giving time with us. So, before having your deliberation, let me our learned participants, delegates, about the credentials, about the scholarship and personality of Professor Goranga Charananda. So, Professor Goranga Charananda, now enjoying the status as Honorable Vice Chancellor, Netaji Subhash University, Jamshedpur, Jharkhand, was formerly Professor and Head, Department of Education, Dean, School of Social Sciences, and Chairman, Council of Deans, Ravenshaw University, Cuttack, which was erstwhile Ravenshaw College. Cuttack, Odisha, is having more than 40 years of teaching experience, both at PG and UG levels in Odisha. He has published more than 60 research papers in various international and national journals and authored 18 books in education to his credit. He has produced 16 PhD scholars in education, and another 2 PhD scholars are doing their research work under his guidance. In this context, I would like to highlight a thing that Professor Gorangachan Nanda is my regular teacher, my full-time teacher, and my PhD guide, and I happen to be his first PhD product in this galaxy of 16 PhD scholars he has produced so far. He has attended more than 100 seminars, conferences, workshops, and delivered more than 80 invited talks at the international, national, state, and regional levels to his credit. He was senior fellow of ICSSR New Delhi from 2019 to 2021 because of his academic excellence with having a great deal of research repute. ICCR selected him as the senior fellow for a period of 2 years. He is having the foreign exposure to curriculum management activity in UK when he was doing a certificate course in educational planning and management at EPM Leeds, UK. With regard to his significant contribution for the state of Odisha, the curriculum development, both for the elementary and secondary level teacher education programs, reformative changes taken by him in the quality of elementary education during his tenure as Additional Director Teacher Training, Odisha Primary Education Program Authority, now Odisha School Education Program Authority, is noteworthy and worth mentioning. Besides, he has given the education department the shape of the School of Education during his tenure in Ravenshaw University, Cuttack, Odisha. Apart from this, he is subject expert of different universities and associate with various academic and professional bodies in the capacity as member, editor, and chief editor also. So, sir, I welcome you, and I am fortunate enough that whenever remaining in the capacity of principal in this institution, I am giving my request. You are honoring my request in spite of busy schedule because you are always recognizing me. You are having that inclination towards me that I am your student for all times to come, because formal student is separate thing and a student for all times to come all times to come, with accepting learning as a lifelong tempo. That is essential, sir. I am fortunate enough that I have been your student, and the educational expertise is with you. I have interacted with you. I have learned so many things, but still so many things have to learn from you. I expect your long live in this cosmos. Now the time is yours, sir. The platform is yours. I welcome you to have your deliberation on this vibrant topic. Okay, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for a long introduction about me, respected principal of Yogoda Satsanga Mahavidyalaya and his team organizing this 3 days program, and uh, learned participants sitting over there. I have been asked by the principal to talk something on digital initiatives in higher education during COVID-19. And all of us, we know that this was a sort of oscillation between life and death during the last 2, 3 years. First wave, second wave, third wave. Who knows that the fourth and fifth wave are also coming. So the message is loud and clear that we have to be prepared for uncertainties, exigencies. And I will share my personal experience here in the presentation. And finally, we will analyze if India is ready for online education. Can online education be the lifeline for our students? This is something we'll analyze. Let me share my own experiences during COVID-19 period when I was engaged in teaching, research, evaluation, everything. So firstly, uh, in my capacity as professor cum principal in Utkal University, I could manage online admission during those periods. It was very difficult to conduct the examination, entrance examination. And in Odisha state also, there is e-admission in place. And in Odisha, we could do it, e-admission. That is something online. And in many universities, they have taken students online because students were not allowed to come to the campus physically, and there were a lot of uncertainty because of this lockdown, shutdown, police restriction, this sanitizer, mask, this, that. Life was horrible and terrible. So, but the show has to go on for the teachers, for the institution. Although government was focusing on health, we were trying to ensure that our students learn something in the process. So admission could be done online, and online teaching was also done. I was teaching different group of students. First, I took 4 to 5 classes for +2 education students for BJB College, one of the premier colleges of the state. Just my lecture was recorded in the studio and it was circulated through YouTube. And what I saw that thousands of students have listened to that. But I didn't really get any feedback on my lecture from the students, whether they were able to learn or not. And it could not be interactive because interaction is the heart and soul of teaching learning process nowadays. So I could not be interactive. I could not be lively in my presentation, which I could uh, discover. Then I started online teaching to the students. And it was also passive, same, +2 students. Then I changed my style and strategy of online teaching to plus two students. I prefer to go in flipped mode, flip learning. First, I extended audiovisual materials to plus two students. Then I gave my own talk. And in the third class, I just wanted question answer session. I wanted. And it was amazingly successful with plus two students. They could raise so many questions. And it was a different experience for me. I was pleased, I was impressed that it worked for plus two students also. And then I tried with ML students of Utkal University, and I could finalize all their research proposals in online mode. I, along with my colleagues, we sat together in our own respective places. Students presented one by one, and I tried to make it interactive. There were questions and answers, and in the process, 30 to 35 research proposals we could finalize during that COVID period. So, online teaching was very much successful. Then I have some experience of online teaching to GM University students. They have some problems to teach in Oriya pedagogy, language pedagogy. I took online classes and they were happy. Although attendance of the student was a concern, but whosoever was present, they attended regularly and they gave me feedback that they were benefited from that. And then I joined this Netaji Subhas University as a vice chancellor. And I was asked by the management to monitor the online classes, which I did across subject areas. I found students were attending the classes, although the number was not very significant. Only 50% to 60% students were attending the classes, and the teacher was taking the classes. Teachers were committed because that online teaching was very much linked with their salary. Therefore, they were extra serious and they were coming prepared. And we were also giving feedback to the teachers who were taking online classes. Therefore, that is another successful online monitoring experience I had. Then I also saw that online examination is going on. But this online examination could not really assess the performance of the students because of lack of surveillance. In other countries like USA, UK, they have surveillance. They could check. So it gave rise to malpractice, manipulation, all these things. Students secured very good marks, but the knowledge of the student could not be tested properly. The knowledge, the skill, the laboratory works could not be done, the practicals could not be done. All these things, that virtual laboratory concept, that has not come to our country. Therefore, examination was a flop during COVID situation, so far as my assessment is concerned. Similarly, online evaluation, just if you are a computer savvy teachers, scripts will be shown to you on the screen of the computer. You read and you give your marks, and results are published. But online examination became very popular, and the reason is best known to my learned participants. Students even started uh, going on strike, demanding online examination. They did not want to sit for offline evaluation, face-to-face evaluation. The reason is obvious. But simultaneously, I was in touch with the developments in other parts of the world. They could judge, assess the students' class and caliber perfectly because the system was ready. They were prepared for any type of contingency. But in India, We were not prepared for any contingency. We didn't have any surveillance. We could not do anything. So therefore, there was rampant malpractice, which could not be checked. And everybody admits. And our frustration when teachers taking risk demanded that there should be, I mean, offline evaluation. Students went on strike. And the government had to compromise with the students, not with the teachers. Because politics also matters so far as educational practice is concerned. Political leaders, they go with the uh, students. Therefore, universities and colleges, they were forced to do this online examination. घर में बैठकर कॉपी करो और अच्छा नंबर लेकर पास करो. ये देखिए, for online evaluation, we have to have a different set of questions altogether. आजकल, nowadays there are varieties in examination, on-demand examination, flexible evaluation, evaluation from different sources by using different tools. ये सब नहीं हो पाया. So जो 360 degree evaluation, holistic evaluation की बात कहा गया है NAP 2020 में, वो नहीं हो पाया. That is a fact that everybody must acknowledge. And so online examination, online evaluation बात तो हो गया. थोड़ा बहुत online teaching तो हुआ different level में, college level में, university level में थोड़ा बहुत हुआ. लेकिन वो जो school level में ये भारी पड़ा, बहुत भारी पड़ा बच्चों को, राइट. वो प्राइमरी स्कूल में के लिए बच्चों को ऑनलाइन पढ़ाओगे, क्या पढ़ेंगे, कितने देर तक पढ़ेंगे. इसके साथ पेरेंट्स को भी पढ़ना पड़ा, बैठना पड़ा विद द चिल्ड्रन. एंड इट वाज नॉट वेरी मच सक्सेसफुल इन केस ऑफ younger students. And during COVID, you see, number of seminars and webinars have been conducted. So I myself conducted webinar for Ravenshaw University. I coordinated and I found it very successful. Our chairman of this NAP committee, he joined. Our governor joined. The Honorable Governor joined. Our Education Minister joined, and we had a successful webinar. This is on NAP 2020. So many people participated, more than 1,000 every day. Every day, 2 sessions. So we could do it in spite of the pandemic situation. And people suddenly became computer savvy because they were forced to do so. The situation made him computer savvy. And they started using computer for different purposes because there was no other way out. They have to. So there were many successful experiences. If only online lecture will be there, students will not be interested. It has to be interactive. It has to be supported by different diagrams, audio, visuals, like that. You see, visualization is very important. Thoda bahut animation for students. So all these things, if we can add, if we can be prepared, then online teaching can be successful. This is what I believe in. And online examination को अगर surveillance के साथ किया जाए, तो इसका फायदा भी हमें होगा. And sometimes I was also a part to the online recruitment of staff. कोविड में तो आना जाना बंद हो गया. I could successfully recruit few faculty members for my university. So, and I also conducted 2 PhD viva, one for Banaras Hindu University and another for my own Utkal University. I was a part of that PhD viva exercise. But I thought that for in-depth reflective discussion and deliberation, that was not an ideal platform. That is my experience. So when people sit together, they think together, they analyze, there is debate, there is discourse, all these things didn't happen. So for these higher order things, for skill testing, for viva voce, for oral examination, this is not the right approach. And these new concepts are coming: blended learning, flipped learning, e-learning. These are very much required for our students. You see, in the national educational policy, it has been emphasized that there should be integration between content, pedagogy, and technology. We have to have technology-enabled teaching learning situation. Otherwise, we'll be outdated. We'll be outdated. So we have to plan, because you see, every institution has to develop an institutional plan for the institution. You have to specify your vision, your mission, your goals, and your strategies. What you want to do? How do you want to see your institution after maybe 5 years? So all these things. Now you are bound to have your own website and to show what are you doing, because people are no more interested to go to your institution and stay there for 3 days. They will, आपका जो annual quality report आप बनाने वाले हैं, इसमें जो छवि होगा वो छवि वेबसाइट पे मिलना चाहिए. तो इसके लिए ऑनलाइन हमको तैयार रहना पड़ेगा. फर्स्ट थिंग इज फर्स्ट थिंग इज कंटीजेंसी सिचुएशन के लिए अगर तैयार होना है, वी हैव टू गो ऑनलाइन, वी हैव टू बी टेक्नोलॉजी savvy. And second thing is that if you want to be effective, we can integrate pedagogy, technology together. But teacher services are required. You see, e-content is available, but you have to adapt it to the needs of your students, to the needs of your locality. That is how it would be successful. So this is okay. This so far I have given you a rosy picture of the advantages of ICT. But let us critically analyze: are we prepared to go online? हमारे पास क्या साधन है? डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर है? हमारे टीचर्स जो लीड करेंगे, इन्होंने इतने टेक्नो savvy है? हमारे स्टूडेंट्स है टेक्नो savvy? हमारे स्टूडेंट के पास है स्मार्टफोन, है एंड्रॉइड सेट है? आर दे इन ए पोजिशन टू अफोर्ड? कितने लोगों के पास हमारा कंप्यूटर है? कितने लोगों के पास लैपटॉप है? एक सर्वे से पता चला only 6% of the household in rural areas have computer, and 20% household in urban areas are having computer. You see, इसका मतलब 70% घर में कंप्यूटर नहीं है इंडिया में. And you see, 30% of the people in India having smartphone. Only 30%. My observation is that uh, 90% of the people do not have access to laptops, internet. So ये सब नहीं होने की वजह से इसका बेनिफिशियरी सब नहीं हो पाए. And for some of the students, it was a period of no learning. No learning. Connectivity problem, power cut problem, डाटा प्रॉब्लम. ये सब जो पढ़ रहे थे, इनके पास डाटा कंजम्पशन बहुत ज्यादा हो जाता था. सो ऑफर करने की बात जब आता है तो फिर और इसी ये जो सिचुएशन हमको बहुत सीखा है. दिस इज ए ब्लेसिंग्स इन डिस्गाइज. सो वी हैव टू बी रेडी एट द कॉलेज लेवल. हमको जितने सारे मटेरियल ऑनलाइन कोर्सेज हो रहा है, जिसको हम कहते हैं मूक्स कहते हैं, इसमें हम शामिल होना जरूरी हो गया है. क्योंकि आजकल जो करिकुलम आने वाला है बिकॉज ऑफ दिस NEP 2020, इसमें हमको ऑनलाइन कोर्स करने के लिए भी क्रेडिट दिया जाएगा. टू गिव क्रेडिट फॉर ऑनलाइन कोर्सेस. नाउ थिंग्स आर बिकमिंग वेरी flexible, and we have to maintain huge database. And you see, there are different portals also, platforms like Swayam for faculty development program, for your CPD. You can follow this Swayam platform and get the benefit. So ये जो है हमारा, इसके लिए हमको तैयार होना पड़ेगा इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिजिटल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर। हमारे पास स्मार्ट क्लासरूम एक दो होना चाहिए। आपकी कॉलेज लेवल में सब टीचर को कंप्यूटर ट्रेनिंग दीजिए, हाउ टू यूज कंप्यूटर ट्रेनिंग, हाउ टू प्रिपेयर ई कंटेंट, हाउ टू have different method mix to deal with the students. So all these things will be helpful for increasing the quality learning, and I'm sure can result in better learning outcomes of the students. So MOOC, Swayam, you will be astonished that in that COVID period, NCRT by using its Diksha platform to train in lakhs and lakhs of teachers in the country during vacation. So कुछ ना कुछ हुआ, ऐसे नहीं है, लेकिन उनके बेनिफिशियरी बहुत कम हो गए because of this poverty situation, because of, you see, this lack of connectivity, particularly in rural areas, ये सब नहीं हो पाया. So आजकल हमको ऐसे पेडागोजी परस्यू करना पड़ेगा जो which should be engaging, which should be enriching. ऐसे पेडागोजी अगर हम फॉलो नहीं करेंगे तो will be lagging behind, will be outdated. Our students will reject us. So, my dear learner friends who are sitting over there, let us upgrade our skill. And it is a requirement. It is going to be mandatory. Otherwise, you will be outdated and government will show the way to you. आजकल ये जॉब के लिए भी अकाउंटेबिलिटी की बात कहा गया है. You have to be accountable. You see, there are so many things. I know that you are already a NAAC accredited institution and you have to fill up your AQAR every year. इसमें बहुत सारे क्राइटेरिया है, करिकुलर एस्पेक्ट, इसमें आपकी करिकुलम क्या है, सिलेबस क्या है, इसको देना पड़ेगा वेबसाइट में. और फीडबैक सिस्टम, कैसे फीडबैक करोगे? हाँ, मैंने भी during these days I have also collected feedback from parents, from students, कैसे आपकी लर्निंग एक्सपीरियंस रहा, बच्चों क्या शेयर करते हैं, ये सब रिकॉर्ड है. इसके लिए हमको काम करना पड़ेगा, बहुत बड़ा डाटाबेस बनाना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि वो जो आ रहा है ना NEP 2020, वो कहता है ABC. ABC का मतलब आप शायद समझ रहे होंगे, एकेडमिक बैंक ऑफ क्रेडिट. आप पढ़ोगे, एक साल के बाद यू कैन गिव इट अप, डू समथिंग, अनदर क्रेडिट. 2 साल के बाद छोड़ सकते हो, 3 साल के बाद छोड़ सकते हो. राइट, दिस इज द फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. ये सब डाटा मेंटेन करना इतना आसान काम नहीं है. ये डाटा मेंटेन करना, इतना प्रोग्रेस इंश्योर करना, स्टूडेंट प्रोफाइल, टीचर प्रोफाइल, ये सब बनाने के लिए वी हैव टू गो ऑनलाइन. देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट इट. Similarly, student performance, category wise students, ये सब डाटा जब चाहिए प्लानिंग करने के लिए, इंस्टीट्यूशनल डेवलपमेंट प्लान करने के लिए, ICT will be helpful for you. So आप करिए स्टूडेंट परफॉर्मेंस, लर्निंग आउटकम्स, इसको दिखाने से लोगों को तसल्ली होगी कि जोगदा सत्संग इंस्टीट्यूशन is doing very well. Let us go there for pursuing our higher education. For that matter, any institution, आपकी क्या रिसर्च हो रहा है, कौन रिसर्चर है, कितना डॉक्टरेट डिग्री वाले हैं, और क्या इनोवेशन, बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस, ये सब नोट करना पड़ेगा. इसके लिए आपको चाहिए फैसिलिटीज, IT गैजेट्स, IT इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, और आपके साथ गवर्नेंस लीडरशिप के लिए भी ये चाहिए, ये सब डेटा. Data, without data, life is impossible in this post-modern era. And आपकी institution values, best practices वगैरह इसको सब डालिए वेबसाइट में, वेबसाइट अपडेट अपडेट करते जाइए। एक इंस्टीट्यूशन में मैं प्रिंसिपल था 10 साल पहले। आज भी लोग मेरे को फोन कर रहे हैं, सर आप प्रिंसिपल है ना वो कॉलेज का? बोलिए ऐसे हम अगर मेंटेन करेंगे तो हम नाक ग्रेडेशन की बात भूल जाना चाहिए। So ICT is going to be very handy for an effective teacher. If you want to be a successful teacher, you have to create an ICT enabled learning and use your, I mean, mobile set, use your computer. आजकल तो बस वो एक जमाना था जब विवेकानंद जाकर उधर शिकागो में भाषण दे दिए, सब लोग उद्बुद्ध हो गए। ऐसे बात आजकल बच्चों के लिए listening so to listen to a lecture, they don't have the patience, they don't have the perseverance to do that. So we have to make a variety in our lecture. We have to make our learners active. We have to promote active learning. We have to be involved in the experiential learning exercise. अगर हम ICT यूज करते हैं तो ये सब कर पाएंगे। लेकिन हमारा जो देश है थोड़ा बहुत तो प्रिपेयर हो गए, दैट इज बिकॉज ऑफ दिस कोरोना, एंड आगे तैयार रहेंगे तो वी कैन मेक यूज ऑफ दिस ICT, वी कैन टेक एडवांटेज ऑफ द ICT। एक अच्छे लेक्चर कोई अमेरिका में दे रहा है, यू कैन मेक योर स्टूडेंट्स लिसन टू दैट लेक्चर। बहुत सारे पॉसिबिलिटीज है ICT। लेकिन अब मत भूलिए कि रोल ऑफ द टीचर इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। मटेरियल्स बहुत है, कंप्यूटर में डेटा बहुत है, मटेरियल बहुत है। कौन सा मटेरियल हमारे लिए यूजफुल है वो टीचर विल चूज, टीचर विल गाइड। रोल ऑफ द टीचर इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, रादर मोर इंपॉर्टेंट। ट्रेडिशनल टीचर तो काम लिमिटेड था, लेकिन वो जो मॉडर्न टीचर, पोस्ट मॉडर्न टीचर आप लोग है, आपको दिमाग में रखना पड़ेगा ये सब 21st सेंचुरी स्किल, बच्चों का नीड्स, लर्निंग स्टाइल, ये सब वो लेक्चर वाला काम नहीं चलेगा। लंबा लेक्चर दे दो, बच्चों बस सुनेंगे ऐसे नहीं। इसको इंटरेक्टिव करिए, एक्सपीरियंशियल करिए, एक्टिव लर्निंग प्रमोट करिए। ये सब करने से हमारा क्लास इफेक्टिव होगा। हम ICT को छोड़ नहीं सकते हैं, फिर भी टीचर को भी हम नहीं छोड़ सकते। टीचर हैज टू प्ले ए रोल। ये तो गार्बेज जाएगा तो गार्बेज निकलेगा कंप्यूटर में। सो इसको थोड़ा साफ करना, डाइल्यूट, इसको क्लीन करके बच्चों को देना है। कौन सा मटेरियल चूज करेगा वो समझ नहीं पाएगा। आप जाओ रिसर्च डाटा एनालिसिस करने के लिए, SPSS पैकेज आपको दे देगा। एफ वैल्यू क्या है, टी वैल्यू क्या है, ये एफ वैल्यू चीज क्या है, कैसे इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन कैसे होगा, ये तो कंप्यूटर नहीं करेगा ना। ये आपका गाइड आपको हेल्प करेगा टू एनालाइज, टू इंटरप्रेट। सो टीचर को मत छोड़िए, ICT को मत छोड़िए। Please remember that this online cannot be the lifeline for the students. Our students were very much excited to see us after vacation. Just physical touch, आंखों से आंख मिला के बात करना ये कुछ अलग बात है। The soft touch of the teacher on the back of the student, that means a lot. माथा माथा में रख देते हैं इसका। lively teacher teaching live is something very important. Smiling, reacting, responding to your queries, ऐसे टीचर होना जरूरी है। And sometimes ICT also makes us machines. We should not be machine-like. Mechanized, थोड़ा बहुत human touch आएगा because of the teacher facilitator. He has to facilitate learning. He has to inspire. He has to show us models. He has to select authentic materials for us. All these things are very much important. I have been given half an hour time, and I think I have done my job within 30 minutes.
Sir, Sir,
Now
you can
it's
continue for
10:35.
another. Sir, you can continue for another 10 minutes. No problem, sir.
नहीं
If
ऐसे
you
है
if
ना
you
10
like,
minutes.
uh,
नहीं ऐसे
explore.
है now. For the knowledge of the learned participants, I am also attending a program here in Central
Acha.
University Koraput, and a very good resource person is giving lecture. I have to learn there also. I have prayed for half an hour time from them, and already I am 5 minutes late. Thank you so much for listening to me. If you have any question, one, two questions, you can quickly raise, and I will be happy to answer. This 10 hour or 5, 6 minutes, let us devote for question answer. You may react to my lecture, you may give your observation, suggestion, whatever. Now, the ball is in your court. Thank you so much, Professor Misra, Principal, and the organizing team. It has been a great honor for me to share my experience with you. Thank you so much.
So, thank you so much, sir, for giving a very time-based and experience-based presentation. I think our participants could have enlightened a lot by virtue of your very dynamic and resourceful presentation. You have covered almost all the things by making the present teaching learning situation vibrant, dynamic, resourceful, need-based, and ICT-based out and out. From the very beginning of your speech or of your presentation, you have perpetuated your own experience during COVID pandemic situation in University Teacher Education Department, Utkal University, also in GM University, Sambalpur, by focusing on the teaching learning transaction as well as the online examination system. And the experience you have presented here, you have submitted here, the thing is that really malpractice and manipulations, there was so many chances for malpractice and manipulation, and it was a very top task to differentiate between promising scholars and the between the gifted scholars and the below standard scholars regarding the numeracy that we are giving. And so examination system was proved as a flop during this COVID pandemic situation. As you have experienced, it is the experience of all the stakeholders of education, what I feel. And you are focused, no doubt there will be problem, there will be again another pandemic, but because we have to survive with this pandemic. But thing is that we must be dynamic, need based, and adapting as per the necessity of time. So online system of education or online teaching learning process, we have to adopt it. And for adopting the online education system, it will be much more better if we will adhere to that blended mode of learning for all times to come. But so far the present educational practices is concerned, we have to adopt blended approach of learning so that our time will never be consumed. And for accelerating this online teaching learning situation in the context of Indian higher education system, sir, you have highly raised the issues that regarding the online teaching, there is a need of digital infrastructure. The teachers must be oriented, must be trained, students must be equipped with these aids and appliances, technological aids and appliances. The library must be updated. There will be the automation of the library or a digitalization of the library. All these things will come to the spotlight of discussion. Smart classroom boards, for this there is the need of learning resources as well as financial resources. And you have given a very nice very nice experience about the thing, and you have highlighted a very nice survey report done during this pandemic period, that is that regarding these technological aids and appliances lies with the students in higher education. In Indian context, it has been reported that 6% in rural areas we are having computer, 20% in urban areas we are having computer, and overall 30% people or students or families were having smartphone to cater the learning needs of their students during this pandemic situation. No doubt, as you have highlighted NEP 2020, the ultimatum of NEP 2020 will have to holistic education, and the teacher must be an ICT enabled stuff so that the teaching learning process will be accelerated. But thing is that, sir, that you have in course of your discussion you have highlighted that teacher is second to none. Really, it's accepted out and out. The thing is that a resourceful teacher, a dynamic teacher, a research based teacher with having proper interactive skill, proper art of visualization will definitely draw the attention of the students, whether it may be offline mode or online mode. So in the same line, you have also focused on in this corona pandemic period, we need to accelerate the online teaching learning process, that the online or open educational resources developed by government of India are implemented by or facilitated by the MHRD, now Minister of Education, Government of India, MOOC courses, Swayam portal, Swayam platform for continuing professional development of teachers, Diksha platform initiated implemented by NCRT for school teachers. So in this context, no doubt, a teacher, a good teacher, there is nobody can fill up the vacancy, the position of a dynamic, competent, updated, and effective teacher. But the teacher must have to accept the tempo of lifelong learning, so that by upgrading his skills, competencies, adhering to the digital education, or to accelerate the process of digitalization in higher education in the context of India. And you have highly focused on the purview of the NAAC accreditation system, the NAAC accreditation mechanism, with few span of time. You are focused on the NAAC, the mechanism of NAAC accreditation and assessment. Really, for ensuring quality, for enhancing quality in the field of higher education, there is the necessity of the accreditation and assessment by the accrediting body as the autonomous organization of UGC, that is National Assessment and Accreditation Council, located in Bangalore, India, as an autonomous body. And so thing is that, sir, whatever it may be, now as we are focusing on quality, and the NAAC has already developed very stringent, very fact-finding, revised assessment framework to evaluate the quality of the higher education institutions by identifying, by pointing out the what are the strong points, what are the weak points for further refinement of the institution, as quality is the ultimatum of, you may say, NEP 2020, or to, you may say, to give a clear-cut picture of higher education in the world map of higher education. So you are focused on the initiative taken by the NEP 2020 ABC Academic Bank of Credit, then importance of that institutional development plan through the use, through the help of or through the use of ICT in a massive scale. You have focused the various quality parameters for higher education, and also focused on 21st century skills. And last but not the least, you have concluded your saying, your presentation, by highlighting that ICT and teacher are the two faces of the same coin in the present teaching learning situation. So far higher education is concerned, if we will fulfill the needs, the requirements of our students, if teachers will be responsive to their students, and if our students, our Indian students in tertiary or higher education will be competent and effective to compete in the world market of in the world marketing competition for obtaining jobs. So thank you so much, sir. In spite of busy schedule, you have given time to us. You have glorified our 2 days next function webinar on digital transformation in higher education during COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you, sir. Wish you a long life in this cosmos. Thank you so much, sir, again. So thank you. Thank you so much. I like to announce that whether Professor P.S. Ponmudiraj with us or not. Suman Babu, can you tell me the availability of Professor B.S. Ponmudiraj, Advisor NAAC Bangalore? So then I would like to request our learned participants, if they have any questions, to ask our very legendary figure in the field of education, to Professor Gorangacharan Nanda sir. He will clarify the doubt, so that time will be managed, because Dr. B.S. Ponmudiraj uh, might not have joined with us. He has assured me to join, but I think that he is not with us in this online platform. So sir, if you will answer one or two questions raised by our learned participants, so that your presentation will be fruitful and meaningful, what I feel. Anybody can ask any question, one or two maximum.
Sir, namaskar. Sir, myself Sarita Patnaik, research scholar, Nagaland University. Sir, I am audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Sir, my question is, in a state like Nagaland, how digitalization process is fruitful? Where there is lack of communication, lack of internet connection, how it is possible? How much?
Sir, please unmute yourself, sir. Turango sir, please unmute yourself.
Now I am sitting in the Koraput district, right? Which is hilly area, forests, hills, all these things. And still I could make myself available for this online webinar. So we have to think of how this can be done. Nagaland has improved, even Sikkim has improved, Arunachal Pradesh has improved, things are happening. We have to go online, we have to create an ICT-enabled learning environment to ensure the learning performance of our students, to raise their level of learning. There is no other way out, right? So you have to think of, that's not my job, that's the job of technical people. I am a man from pedagogy background. Okay, ma'am? So you think about it?
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yes, any other? Now let us start company. Anybody? आपकी कॉलेज में स्मार्ट क्लासरूम है जोगदा
Yes, sir. Yes,
सत्संग
sir.
महाविद्यालय में?
Yes, sir.
You have one?
Five smart classrooms are here, sir. Another
That is
7 or
great.
8.
That is great.
Another 7 and 8 classrooms, smart classrooms will be developed, sir, within couple of
Is
months.
it okay? Is it used for the benefit of the
Yes.
students?
Extensively used, sir. Extensively used, and categorically in our B.Ed and M.Ed department there are 2 smart classrooms, sir.
That's a good indicator,
Exactly, sir.
implying the progress of the institution.
Exactly, sir.
I hope you people are doing a great job. Let us show that we are different. Highlight your best practices, innovative practices, so that your ranking in the ensuing NAAC will be elevated. Wish you all the best.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you so much. I am honored.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So we will do one thing. Suman Dhar sir is present with us. Suman Dhar sir.
Yes, sir, I am present.
So I would like to I would have an announcement that we will start the technical session 4 technical session 5 paper presentation session. We will wait Anil Mahapatra, but up to the joining of Anil Mahapatra, I will manage the show as the chairman technical person because of managing the time schedule. So I'd like to request our rapporteur of the technical session 5, Mr. Suman Kumar Dhar, state-aided college teacher, Department of English of our Mahavidyalaya, to carry forward the further proceedings of the technical session 5th. I think the list is with Mr. Dhar. So you just read out the name of the participants and accordingly you will call them to in this online platform. Now, Mr. Dhar, you can carry your work.
Okay, sir. So now we are about to start the technical session. Sir, I am audible?
Exactly, audible.
Okay. So now we are about to start the technical session 5 of the 2-day NAAC sponsored national webinar on digital transformation in higher education during COVID-19 pandemic. And this technical session 5, that is the paper presentation session. And now that will be chaired by our honorable principal, sir. And thank you very much, sir. And as per the schedule, it will be chaired later when Professor Anil Anil Kumar Mohapatra sir will be available. And before we begin this technical session, so with the permission of you, sir, I would like to announce that we have a number of participants. Almost there are 16 paper presenters in the list, and we have a very stipulated amount of time, and that is why let me tell you in advance that we will be able to grant you only 4 to 5 minutes to present your paper. So please present your paper precisely without any introduction. And I would like to suggest you to focus on the gist, on the essence of your paper, and then we will be able to move on smoothly. Your cooperation is highly solicited, and I can tell you once the time is off, then I will announce it, and I will announce 2 names at a time so that the second paper presenters would also be ready in advance. Other than the person who is presenting, I would request everybody to keep their video and mic off for the smooth session. Thank you very much, and I welcome you all. The first person to present the paper is Mr. Ujjwal Mahato. He is holding the state aided college teacher, Department of Education of Sitaram Mahato Memorial College, Purulia, West Bengal. Sir, are you present?
Yes, sir. Obviously, I'm
Okay.
presenting here, sir.
Okay. Okay.
At first, my heartfelt thanks to the principal of the Yogoda Satsanga, Palpara Mahavidyalaya, and the organizers and all the dignitaries and dear participants. I am presenting my research paper titled "Mobile Learning in the Midst of Light and Darkness." Is this presenting here? Is this visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, sir. Thank you. At first, science and technology. At first, I started with 2 lines of a popular song, very popular, Mohinar Ghodaguli, from Gautam Chattopadhyay. The world has to be small in the hands of satellites and cables, captive in a stupid box kept in the drawing room. পৃথিবীটা নাকি ছোট হতে হতে স্যাটেলাইট আর কেবলের হাতে ড্রয়িং রুমে আঁকা বোকা বাক্সতে বন্দি. An analysis of the above lines makes it clear that the triumph of science and technology in India begins not in the 21st century, but in the middle of the 19th and 20th century. However, it is also true that this triumph has begun to gain momentum since the end of the 20th century. Notable among the important contributions of this technology is mobile technology. As this mobile technology has become essential for communication, it has also brought a groundbreaking revolution in the field of education. What is mobile learning? Basically, using a personal electronic device in a formal way, we learn about multiple contexts. This is called mobile learning. According to Pinkwat and the team of research, mobile learning as a e-learning that uses mobile device and wireless transmissions. What is the features of mobile learning? In mobile learning, students and teachers has used a personal electronic device like mobile, smartphones, MP3 players, tablets, laptop, computer, etc. It is one of the part of non-formal education. It is a new method of learning based on handheld based device. It is accessible anytime from everywhere. It is focused to the mobility of the learner. There is an opportunity to get quick feedback here. Objective of this study to know about the basic concept of mobile learning, to find out the lightness and of the mobile learning in Indian context, to find out the darkness of mobile learning in Indian context. Basically, this study is largely based on qualitative research method. The data was gathered from entirely a secondary source like various journals, edited books, and news articles and websites, etc. What is the lights of mobile learning? there was a very salient lights of mobile learning, like mobility. This type of learning is dependent by mobile device, so it is easy to carry in any time and anywhere. Globalized. At the same time, there are students from different remote areas at the same time. As a result, study began to think of themselves as being globalized while living in this type of education system, cost effective. In the traditional way, one had to spend a lot of money to buy a number of books or notes just to know a single subject. But as a result of mobile learning, there is no need to buy innumerable books or notes. But if there is a mobile device and internet connection, I get innumerable books or notes instantly. Resource availability. It is a medium where there is no limit to information. The door to knowledge is open. But otherwise, we move within limited boundaries. It is a medium where there is no limit to information. The door to knowledge is open. Largest platform of knowledge. The world's largest body of knowledge is embedded in this teeny digital device, which we have at our fingertips in an instant. Audiovisual media. This mobile learning has been transformed into a very attractive and effective learning system, as it is taught through audio video media. Availability of multiple options. There are countless resources available to know or learn about a particular subject, and from where you get the opportunity to accept the subject of choice and excellence. Opportunity to record. There is also advantage of collecting and storing a specific content, so that there is an opportunity to raise
Pardon,
it
please.
again.
Pardon, please. You just go through the points, okay? Because
Okay,
within 5 to 7 minutes, one paper will
okay,
be
sir.
completed.
Okay,
Na? You
okay,
only
sir.
go
Okay,
through the points,
okay, sir.
okay?
Next, opportunity record and learning in collaborative way. Next, learning in blended mode. Uh, and another side, darkness of mobile learnings, like prevalence of misinformation. This type of medium provides internet-based information, and dependence internet only, promotes a digital divide. The mobile and internet-based approach is not easy for all classes of students in India. Uh, Next, effects to the physical health, mental health, effects to the social health, less effective in practical and field-based subject. Inanimate method, device issues, digital magic, provocation of danger. Finally, I am conclude the my presentation. In addition to the above discussion, it can be said that this 21st century has brought about a groundbreaking change in education. In the whole society, the role of mobile is very significant. With the help of this mobile, unprecedented changes have taken place in the field of education. And the beginning of M learning. As a result of M learning, the boundaries of time have been crossed, as well as discrimination in education. Caste, reach for high, low. Now an Indian student can learn subjects of the education in any other country if he wants to. The opposite is also happening. Thank you again, all the organizers, team of organizers, principal sirs, and dear
Okay.
participants. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your precise presentation. Now I am requesting Professor Manojit Kole. Are you present? Are you present here, sir? Okay. So next participant, Tanmoy Bhattacharji. Are you present?
Yes, sir.
Okay. She is the doctoral research scholar, Department of Education. Your topic is COVID-19 and digitalization of higher education. Now, proceed presenting your presentation.
Yes, sir. First of all, good morning, respected dignitaries, faculties, excellencies, and all the participants who are present here. This has been jointly prepared by Ms. Tanmay Bhattacharji, Research Scholar, PG Department of Education, Fakurmon University, and also my guide and Associate Professor and HOD of PG Department of Education, Dr. Jyoti Shankar Pradhan. My topic of presentation is COVID-19 and digitalization of higher education. So in simple terms, digitization means transformation of all types of information into digital language. In education, it involves use of modern information technologies and technological solutions in educational process. So there are various technological solutions like pedagogical softwares, educational websites, methodological and didactic materials, virtual models that are used to fulfill the set goals of educational process. So digitalization of education is not a new phenomenon. But the problem is that COVID-19 pandemic has resulted.
Just a minute, I want to make intervention that Professor Anil Kumar Mahapatra, Professor Political Science, Department of Political Science, FM University, Baleswar is with us right now. So I would like to request sir to chair this session. So on behalf of Yogoda Satsanga Palpara Mahavidyalaya, on behalf of IQAC of the Mahavidyalaya, I extend my warm welcome to you, sir. In spite of busy schedule, you have given time with us. So
Thank you,
can,
sir.
Sir.
No, actually, I am at Delhi and I have tried my best to join it. Yeah.
Sir, you manage this show,
Okay.
and Professor Suman Kumar Dhar is our reporter. He will extend all sorts of assistance to you for managing this technical session. Okay, Bhattacharya madam, you carry on. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. So because of COVID-19, there is a sudden change in educational activity, particularly dramatic digital transformation in global higher education. This impact has been diverse and profound and varies from country to country. Here, basically, 4 sectors has been considered as per the report prepared by UNESCO International Institute for Higher Education in Latin America and the Caribbean. These 4 sectors basically include the administration and management, teaching and learning, internationalization, and research. If I say the impact of COVID-19 on administration and management, then it can be seen that the delivery of virtual services as was heavily dependent on the availability of infrastructure, particularly where the reliance is on international students' tuitions. There the fees were very high. As a result of which, it has been severely impacted by the pandemic. Not only that, the mental health has also become a salient issue for the students, staff, and faculty. Regarding the teaching and learning, yes, COVID-19 has prepared or gave us several opportunities regarding innovation, particularly in the realm of virtual mobility. But the problem is, due to the sudden transition to online spaces, the quality of instruction has been impacted. As well as because of slow adaptation to online tools or preparation of class materials or engaging students in actively participating them, particularly while being remote. So aside from teaching and learning, research as well as internationalization has also been affected. Regarding research, the funding and scholarly collaboration increased exponentially. Not only that, access to knowledge has also increased. But field work has been disrupted due to the barriers arising from mandatory health protocols and distancing measures. In case of internationalizations, those students, particularly international students, whether they are at home or abroad, because of the pandemic, they are facing challenges regarding the visas or their health or well-being concerns. It has reduced the possibility for physical mobility maybe, but it has also led to virtual modalities for them. So if we go through some figures, this is the report published by UNESCO IESALC. On the basis of this report, we can see that particularly in those Asian countries, mental health has become a serious issue for the students, staff, and faculty because of lockdown or job losses and the way they are living. As in Asian countries, there's open discussion regarding mental health issues or because of cultural norms. That is why the cases regarding mental health issues are reported in less number than other countries. Particularly in Chile, the cases has been reported as 45.5%, whereas in Bangladesh and in China, these cases are less reported. Aside from health issues, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the capacity of the auditoriums as well as the dining hall, it has also been reduced. Regarding research projects, because of 71% are not traveling to conferences or no access to laboratories, or as the staffs are spending more time on teaching activities, that is why the research projects, they has also been delayed. The impact of the pandemic can also be seen on the scientific conferences. During 2020, yes, the registration fees for the events has been reduced by nearly 42%. But evidence from 170 conferences show that 76% took place online without any schedule adjustments. So this was the global impact of COVID-19 on digitalization. If I see on India, then it can be seen that COVID-19 pandemic has severely impacted India's higher education sector, which currently comprises approximately 1,000 universities and 40,000 colleges across the country. The problem is, as per NSSO report published in 2017-18, only 15% of India's rural households have access to internet compared to 42% in urban areas. Thus, it has resulted in creation of digital divide. So, COVID-19 has both financial and operational implication in India. In case of financial implications also, we can see that there are the salary cuts or delayed admission fee collections. And in case of operational implications, we can see that the academic activities, particularly delivery of academic things or student mobilization or financial constraints are some problems that are faced by higher education institutions. So overall, the Indian higher education system, not only Indian higher education system, but overall, our education system has made a rapid transition from in-person to virtual education. They are using several technological resources like the WhatsApp, Telegram, Google Classroom, Skype, and not only that, several assessment tools are also there to deal with the situation like the slides, videos, presentations, various methodologies for online teaching. There they are. But in spite of that, we are facing several challenges, particularly the technical problems. If we see the report of ITUC, then only we can say that only 43% of India's population use internet. Not only that, it also has led to generational divide among faculties, because for those who faculties who particularly relied on classical methods or who have never used technological tools, they are getting slightly delayed from those younger faculties. Aside from that, there is a high demand for specific skills such as proficient computer knowledge or specific communication abilities for an online setting or proper handling of various teaching learning tools. So to deal with all those challenges, there are several suggestions, and even these suggestions are also taken into place, particularly National Education Policy 2020. It has also emphasized on the digital strengthening. That is why if we can be more open to digital transformation, or if we can more develop our infrastructure, or if we can more invest in digital marketing, digital promotions, and then also if we can give proper training to those faculties, then I think we can overcome those challenges. And as we can say, there is silver lining in every cloud. So from this, or because of this COVID-19 pandemic, there are several opportunities for us also. It will help the higher education institution to transition to new platforms and explore innovative tools. Not only that, because of the COVID-19 at least, there are more and more investment regarding the science. And it has also exposed several levels of inequalities in higher education on the basis of differential treatment of students. So if we can address those inequalities, then I think that higher education of India across the globe also, we can move towards a more qualitative as well as a more equitable post-pandemic world. Thank you.
Thank you for your engaging presentation. Now, Manojit Koleshar, are you present here?
Yes, sir, I am present here.
Okay. Are you ready to present your paper?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So carry forward.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Just a minute.
Then Taraknath Bhuiya will be ready for the next presentation.
Hello, am
Am I visible? Hello.
Yes, yes, you are visible. Your
But your
My,
slides are not visible.
Screen.
yes.
Okay. Share screen. Start sharing.
So it is a humble request to all the paper presenters to be ready with your gadgets properly. So we have to maintain the strict time limit. You know, there are a large number of participants to present their papers.
So ask the next participant. I will present
Okay.
the paper
Now,
later on. Some technical problem is
Taraknath
there.
Bhuiya, are you present here? Taraknath Bhuiya, are you present here? The next paper presenters, Mr. Shatodol Giri, are you present here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So are you ready? Do you have PPT to present?
Yes, sir. I'm presenting, sir.
Okay. So Mr. Shatodol Giri, Assistant Professor, Department of Education, Pokemon. His topic of presentation today is digital transformation in higher education, the role of OERS. Okay, sir. Let's continue your presentation.
Sir, is it visible?
Your screen is visible, but your slide is not visible. Yes, now it is visible.
Visible, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, organizer, for giving me the chance to deliver a talk. Sorry, to presenting a paper that that is digital transformation in higher education, role of OER. So there is a saying that necessity is the mother of invention. The rightly saying necessity is need of the hour. So the first, second, and third wave of COVID-19 led many countries to implement a new role, that is a new teaching learning system returning to online mode once more time. The outbreak of COVID-19 and lockdown, different sectors have adapted, different educational institutions have adopted the online teaching process. So digital transformation of higher education in India, sorry. So digital transformation of higher education in India has been the necessity whose importance has been actualized during COVID-19 pandemic period. A light on the digital transformation of higher education encompasses the dimensions like digital infrastructure, online teaching learning process, digital literacy and digital skills, digital administration and governance, marketing, research, human resources, extension activities, etc. The digital transformation of higher education focuses on the use of OER, that is open educational resources, in the teaching learning process as an integral and holistic transformation of higher education institutions. Open educational resources has played a significant role during COVID-19 pandemic period, particularly through Swayamprabha, Arpit, etc. Although Although the online teaching learning has become a big challenge for all the stakeholders, but the teachers and students who are motivated to adopt the online teaching learning process, for which the open educational resources helped a lot by accelerating the teaching learning process with trying to reach the unreached through WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. So the open access initiatives like Digital Library of India, National Digital Library, National Knowledge Network, Sodh Gangotri, NPTEL, e-Gyanakos, e-PG Patshala, e-Sodh Sindhu, etc. have been developed to cater the learning needs of the students by accelerating the online teaching learning process. Besides, the importance of the digital transformation of higher education in India through the use of open educational resources has been felt by the stakeholders. They are in favor of quality in teaching learning process by experiencing quality academic experience by promoting technology-based learning for students, which has bridged the disparities created in the higher education system before and after COVID-19. Therefore, it can be aptly remarked that although the blended learning is the appropriate mode of learning in the higher education system after the said pandemic situation, but the use of open educational resources, both in online and blended mode of learning, is highly essential for all times to come, particularly in the present scientific developed and technologically advanced world. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you for your precise presentation. Now, Manojit Kolesher, are you ready for the presentation?
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
Okay.
Sir, may Sir, is it my PowerPoint presentation is visible?
No, no, no. Your mobile screen is visible, but your PowerPoint presentation is not visible yet.
Just a minute, sir. Is it visible now?
No, yet it is not visible.
Hello?
Yes, now it is visible. Now it is visible.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. So, myself, Manojit Pule, I am assistant professor in the Department of Education.
Sir, sorry for interruption.
Yes.
The next participant, Nihar Bala Majhi, would be ready for the next presentation. Okay, continue.
Okay, okay, no problem. Okay. So, sir, I am presently I am in the Department of Education, Subhash Chandra Bose Centenary College, Lalbagh, Murshidabad, and the focus of my paper is student engagement strategies in online learning. So we have already discussed, and everyone of us, we know that how easy it is for a student to become bored and unmotivated with remote instruction, that is online learning. And during the pandemic situation, we all know that how the situation has affected our education system, and so there is no further this further discussion. So I am direct going to the main theme of my paper, that the enhancing engagement is a strategy which research has shown that can motivate students and make virtual learning interactive and more joyous. So the main part is, if we can enhance the student engagement, then it is possible that the students can be motivated, students um, uh, the class, the online learning maybe maybe made more joyous, and a good number of researchers have also documented that the importance of student engagement in not only enhancing the learning experience in online learning, but also in academic achievement, preventing dropouts, and psychosocial development of the students. So now, uh, 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 the student engagement, it is uh, what is student engagement? Uh, it is the involvement and the um, engagement of students with the learning situation, with the school, and with teacher, and with the curriculum uh, as a whole. You can see that the student engagement is the involvement and engagement with the whole education system. So typically, engagement is broken down into three components: behavioral, emotional, and cognitive. The behavioral component focused on the effort and participation that a student is willing to put toward a particular activity or learning outcome, and the emotional component speaks to the interest and connection students feel toward a particular subject matter, while the cognitive component is focused on the students uh, cognitions cognitional activities, or his cognitive activities. Those are related to achieving learning goals, or students investment they put to achieving learning goals. So this is student engagement. Typically three types of student engagement, or three parts of student engagement we can say. So how to boost the student engagement? It is very essential to boost the student engagement, especially in online learning, because the online learning is something we know all that the when we provide remote instruction, it is very much possible that the students are not so much engaged in learning. Strategy which we can use is using the right tech platform. So means using the right platforms like Google Classroom, Moodle, and Zoom, Google Meet, like these platforms that improve students' participation through real-time communication and access to information. These are feature-packed platforms for better communication, and these platforms offers a structured classroom environment with two-way communication. The platform should provide the mute and unmute facilities to the students, and raise a query or initiate a chat during a class. And obviously the quality of audio and video should be high. The next strategy is uh, teach through the dynamic lesson. uh, Present lesson in a dynamic way is essential for engaging students, because using students with lessons, using interactive slides, podcast, videos, several websites, traditional homework assignments, and pre-recorded lectures, and so on. By presenting all the materials concurrently, gives students the freedom and control to choose their own learning path, and this sense of ownership is related positively with student engagement. The next strategy which we can use is focus on active learning. The
Sorry,
learning.
sorry to interrupt you, sir.
Yes.
you have to accelerate your time, sir. Could you please analyze and give the brief analysis of your paper and wrap up as quick as it possible, because we are running quite late, and that's why you have to wrap up with stipulated time. Okay, sir?
Okay, sir. Just 1 minute, sir. And focusing on the active learning, focusing on the active learning, it will help the students to learn better and participate actively in the classroom. And the next one is virtual collaboration. Although it is impossible in the COVID situation, the physical collaboration is impossible, but the virtual collaboration is possible, and it can be done through breaking the learning group down into smaller group. And the next strategy is screen for those students who need additional support. We all know some students need additional support in the COVID situation. Some of the students, they don't have Wi-Fi accessibility, and some of the students, they don't have the smartphone. So it is also required to screen for those students who need additional support, and this will enhance the student engagement. And also consider synchronous and asynchronous learning option. Learning, there is the critical. It is very critical to pay attention to the to synchronous as well as asynchronous learning, because some students, they don't have that opportunity to tune in live on solutions. Online, it's also physical classes. The keep feedback is much essential for education. Along with the studies, feedback should be ongoing, consistent, and timely. When the feedback is timely, the students do not get disengaged, and they maintain their interest in the learning. And in conclusion, I may people who are the most impacted by the COVID-19. It is hard to adjust to the new paradigm of teaching and learning, but thanks to technology, that we keep the education ongoing, and the research shows that using these strategies to increase student engagement not only involve students in learning, but it will also mollify students' agitation during the pandemic of this COVID-19. So thank you. This is all from my side.
Thank you, sir. Nice presentation. The next paper presenter is Nihar Bala Mazhi. Ma'am, are you present here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now it is your time. Nihar Bala Mazhi, ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of Education, Ravenshaw University, Kotak, Odisha. So, will you have the PPT?
Yes, sir.
So,
thank you, sir. Good morning to the managing committee, my teacher Gaurang Nanda sir, then Pradeep sir and Suman sir, and all my friends, those who are present here now. So now I am going to present, share my screen here. Okay.
So the next participant is Miss Minoti Das. You will be present for the next presentation after Nihar Bala Mazhi, ma'am.
Sir, is the screen visible now?
No, it is not visible. So it's a humble request to all the paper presenters. No, ma'am. It is not visible yet. So we have to maintain the strict time limit. So
Sir, is it visible now?
so yes, it is visible.
Okay, sir. So my topic is impact of COVID-19 pandemic on higher education. Uh, So the introduction is that the outbreak of COVID-19 has forced many countries to enforce lockdowns that brought everything to a standstill, including the teaching and learning process. The educational sector suffered the most due to this pandemic. It had a devastating impact on human life and shattered economies around the world, with a massive jolt to the education systems both in developed and developing countries. The most important pandemic precaution called social distancing or physical distancing has attempted to reduce interpersonal contact and thereby minimize the kind of community transmission. In the case of the country like India, following the online teaching and has registered devastating impact on the lives of those students who are underprivileged and coming from very poor section of the society. In India, it has also brought certain severe effects on the conventional learning process, and it is important to note that there are still certain educational institutions which are not very well equipped to the modern technological facilities in the classroom. The introduction of new method of learning through digital mode of learning very easy to the students as they can sit at home and get access, but at the same time some students also had to face the problem due to the poor internet connectivity, which brings an obstacles to entire uh, the process of e-learning systems. Then what are the objective of my study? The study's main objective is to determine the impact of COVID-19 on the students studying in higher education level of India, then to examine the educational technology and its importance to understand that there are positive as well as negative effect on the higher education in India. The next is to discuss the issues that are associated with the higher education in India due to COVID-19. Then the last is to focus on certain drawbacks and the context of online education and its psychological impact on the lives of the students. Then what are the methods I used? I have collected data from different secondary sources, and then through different journals publications, and then I want to try to how to present my topic here. Then the next is your impact of higher education. Around the second week of March 2020, state government across the country began to shut down the schools, colleges due to the COVID-19. To prevent the outbreak of COVID-19, college, school, and university closure had to be made compulsory to prevent the spread of virus. Students had to face severe problem as they were not aware of the future. So it disrupted the structure of learning, assessment, and examination, which made the Indian education system go through an irreversible teaching and learning crisis. Students had to face severe problem as they were not aware of the future examination, especially students who were in the final year and also those who were to answer entrance test. Online method was considered as the threat, but today it has come to rescue. However, there were several issues that also started coming up along with the introduction of online mode of teaching in higher education institutions. So, how far online teaching is effective? The answer is that it is effective for those who have right access to the technology. Internet plays a very vital role for better learning and for higher education. Students cannot be expected to have all the required facilities available in their home discomfort and frustration, which might have the strong feeling of segregation and thus create a divide between the rich who can avail all the facilities and the poor who cannot afford to purchase the equipments that are required for e-learning. People are not completely well equipped that all the facilities, and many times they cannot get access to the equipment which is needed at the time of teaching and learning process. Student involvement during the online classes has increased absenteeism and poor performance. Students' passive role in the classroom become one of the significant reason for ineffective online teaching and learning process. Teachers who were not well versed with modern technology and mobile applications had to struggle a lot to engage online classes due to the sudden shift from face-to-face teaching to online teaching. Then what are the rise of digital technology for e-learning and virtual education? The impact on higher education has been dramatic and transformative, and a common trend in education system around the world has been to respond to the pandemic with emergency e-learning protocols, marking the rapid transition from face-to-face classes to online learning systems. The educational institutions are facing a challenge to adapt to this challenge and trying to choose the right technologies and approaches for educating and engaging their students. The universities will need to pay serious attention to having educators trained and equipped with digital technology for a smooth teaching learning process. The government also will have to set up and commit to and sustain programs for professional development to boost educators' teaching capabilities. The greater digitalization of educational services and communication may become a norm for post-pandemic. The current situation has challenged deep-rooted notions about the role of higher education institutions in providing equality education, mode of delivery, accessibility, the importance of lifelong learning, and educators' perceptions about the type of learners. So, what are the insightful thoughts of educators and policymakers for the overall improvement of the education system? So, that are relying on the adapting to e-learning during pandemic. Affordability is another factor to limit the access to e-learning. Availability of digital technologies for education. Then what are the initiatives taken by the policymakers to make the educational system learner friendly? So there are many drawbacks on online learning. It became survivor during the worst situation in the country. It enhanced the digital literacy. People started learning and using digital technology. Electronic media was used for sharing information worldwide. Students and teacher got good opportunity to interact with different people around the globe, improving the communication. Students preferred open and distance learning mode of learning as it encourages self-learning. The higher education institutions also gave their positive response by adopting different strategies during this crisis situation. UGC and Minister of Higher MHRD also have made available teaching and learning materials for students to motivate learning. So some of the digital initiatives have proved to be very effective during the COVID-19 crisis. So they are e-Gyankos, Swayam, and then Distavo, and so many others. Number of organizations are there. Then what my conclusion and suggestions? It is difficult to manage, imagine colleges and universities education without the use of digital resources, which has provided different educational and academic information. However, it is also necessary to understand that it shouldn't reinforce structures of power and inequality. It should not create digital divide between rich and poor. Online mode of learning can be the best mode of teaching if it can be accessed by all the sections of the society. It is therefore important to take cognizance of the digital divide and ensure that the society. The intervention prioritize greater equity, connectivity, and the university community will need on their educational vision and mission to ensure student learning outcomes and the standards of educational compromised. The higher educational institutions must be ready for a tough road ahead post pandemic, where their decisions will shape and steer the future of their students. So these are my references. So thank you.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, for your nice presentation. Now I am requesting Miss Minoti Das, madam, to present your paper. Are you present here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Miss Minoti Das, MPhil scholar, Department of Education, Ravenshaw University, Kotak, Odisha, and her topic of presentation is perception of students of higher education towards online teaching and assessment during COVID-19 pandemic. And after that, I would like to announce Soumya Ranjan Das from Hyderabad University to be ready for your next presentation. Okay. So my humble request to all the paper presenters to be precise of your presenting. You have to focus on the gist of your presentation, not wasting the time, focusing on the. Okay, let's move on. No, your screen is not visible. Your slide is not visible. We are running quite late. We have to maintain the strict limit of time. And that's why I'm requesting all the paper presenters to be ready with your gazettes.
Acha.
My slide is visible?
No, it is not visible yet.
Suman sir, actually Professor Anil Mahapatra is in busy schedule. He would like to take the leave, so I will manage this show. Okay, on behalf of me, you carry forward the proceedings. And it is my sincere request to all the learned participants, maximum you finish your job within 5 to 7 minutes. You have your just main indicators or main features of your paper and with the findings or suggestions, if any.
Professor Mishra, should I just share my idea within only 2 minutes? Only 2 minutes.
Okay, sir. Welcome. Carry on, sir. Carry on.
Yeah. Sir, actually, thank you very much for giving this opportunity to me. And I found all the papers very interesting. And I could able to jot down some important points. As someone has rightly said, it is just a silver lining in the dark cloud. And it has brought an alternative to the actual classroom conditions. It's a paradigm shift that has taken place, and it has become a challenge. It has brought a challenge to both the teachers who are providing the disseminating knowledge, and the students as well, because there are many of us who did not know about all these technicalities, and now we are trying to know it. As Rousseau said, one is forced to be free. Like that, the COVID-19 situation has made everybody. It has forced everybody to become technological savvy. Then the other thing is that the blended mode of education has become now has been accepted a very normal now, a new normal as we say. Then the other one, that is, I have read through several researches that it has also impacted on the GDP. The GDP, gross domestic product, it has also impacted, and it will take another 7 to 8 years to recover that loss. So nobody has calculated it in that way that what is the quantitative loss, because the qualitative loss everybody knows. What is the quantitative loss so far as the GDP is concerned? Then another thing is that it has initiated a process which would continue. That means the process has not yet ended, and the new education policy now has attached importance to digitalization of the higher education as well. So with this observation, I wish to take leave. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Professor Mahapatra for very detailed feedback for each presentation and pointed out everything that could have been done better and merits of the presentation and your suggestions,
Thank you,
observations.
sir. Thank you, Mr. Sir. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Okay, carry on, sir.
sir, my PPT is visible.
Yes,
Yes,
it
sir,
is visible.
Okay.
Sir, sorry, sir. I have some changes in my topic. Abstract, sir, perception of students and teachers. Abstract में only student दिया था वो पेपर में both student and teachers का perception, effectiveness of online teaching and assessment.
Okay, you will do one thing. You will do one mail to our official mail. Then you will prepare your certificate accordingly. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, all my dignitary persons and all my dear participants. I am Minati Das, MPhil scholar in Ravenshaw University, Kotak. Today, I am going to my research paper, Perception of Students Teachers about the effect of online teaching and assessment in higher education in COVID-19. I know that today technology is in everyone's life. Everyone's life. More accessible. So, and by COVID-19 normal difficulty advantage of higher education institutions. Institutions are closed since March 2020 as a major mitigation of a risk to the students and teachers are safe at home, but losing learning time and study. Then I also play important role in education is a top of higher education. Assessment had already made a foot in the door of many educational institutions. National education policy also give importance the back towards online and digital of education. So it was a major challenge in higher education in the crisis time. Both online teaching and assessment play important role, and both teacher and student play important role in higher education institution. So UGC also give recommended
Your voice is not audible, ma'am. Sir, can I proceed for the next participant?
Yes, you proceed. Okay.
Okay.
You proceed for the next participant. Okay.
Okay, our next participant is Mr. Souma Ranjan Das from Hyderabad University. His topic of presentation. Are you present here, sir?
Yes, sir. I am present.
Okay. So his topic of presentation is uses and impact of digital technology during COVID-19 pandemic situation on higher education. Okay, your screen is visible. So carry on.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Good morning, all and all, and esteemed chairperson and the management of committee of the seminar. And I am Somaranjan Das, research scholar, University of Hyderabad, and my paper is uses and impact of digital technology during COVID-19 pandemic situation on higher education system. The main aim of this paper is to find out the uses or uses and the impact in terms of benefits and challenges with the use of digital technology in higher education. So we know that any problem we face, from that problem we acquire the experiences and skill also.
Sorry,
So
sir. Sir, I have not presenting my paper.
No, your time is over. We will manage. No problem. Okay, no problem. We have managed it. No problem. Okay, okay, sir. You carry on. Okay,
Okay, sir. Okay,
Soumyaranjan
sir.
sir. Okay.
Okay, sir. So COVID-19 pandemic is not influenced the other aspects such as of the society, that is politics, we can say economy and culture, etc. The education also influenced very much, and the higher education sector especially is very much affected by the crisis of COVID-19 pandemic. And when the institution was closed, at that time only the mains was the technology. So we adopted that and to tackle the critical situation. So we have used various web and various technological devices also, and the software also. And as per the various study, we can say that newly produced video conference software we have used, that is Google Meet, Zoom meeting, and smartphones and laptops and tablets we have hugely used at that time. And if we say that is another other aspects such as different digital resources, that is PDF materials, short video classes, PPT, web links. It were there before COVID-19, but during the COVID-19 we used hugely this, and the exposure of that things was very much. So use of social media, WhatsApp and Telegram, teachers used to send the learning material with that. And digital learning management tools also you have used, that is Google Classroom and Moodle, Edmodo, Blackboard, etc. So after that we have also used, that is the YouTube massive open online courses, and Swayam e Patasala. The government also taken the initiative to provide e-learning through that, and these things we have used. And if you see the impact of digital technology in higher education, then the impact in its two way, that is some are the benefits and the challenges we have faced. That is benefits are enhancement of digital skills of both teacher and student. By using this, we acquired some technological skills, and then providing new and strengthening the learning management system as we have used, and the growth of online resources and products. Then other the platform, that is Cisco, Webex, Google Meet and Zoom came into force. And we are also we have used hugely, that is our the freely available materials, and asynchronous synchronous e-learning. By e-study material, students also sourced and prepare their learning material, and encouraging personalized learning, as it was a self-paced learning. E-learning was a self-paced learning. So new study channel created by some faculty also and by student also. Free e-learning courses have been provided by some mocks, Coursera, etc. Creativity of lecturers in teaching improved also, you know. Then exposure to digital devices enhanced at that time. And other impacts such as the need of blended learning raised in the post-pandemic time, as we faced that by mixing the online offline we can uh, avoid the delimitation or limitation of both that, and we will benefit from that methodology. Then improvement of quality study material also increased, and collaborative teaching also arised, and YouTube channels created by faculty members also at that time, and providing more materials by e-learning, it also there. And we know that it is flexible and wider access it provided. So what are the challenges we have faced during that time in higher education? That is digital divide. We know that some percent of our country people who are not using, and they are deprived from the technological accesses. So it was a big challenge for us. And electricity, internet connectivity in rural areas was the most issue. Then low down of student attendance also there because of these issues. And unemployment in education sector, not only in education but also in each and every sector arised at that time. And a reduction of national and international student mobility also was there. But when sudden shift came from traditional to technological devices to adapt, at that time the overwork, stress, anxiety among teaching faculties and also students arised. So pandemic related anxiety arised. Then a lack of technological skills also was a big challenge for us, and a lack of motivation among students due to the online classes and problems at that time arise. So in conclusion, I have collected some suggestions from the previous studies. They have suggested that we can improve that situation or that lacuna by clear and compassionate communication with all stakeholders of higher education about that problem. Then we can provide the training in a digital literacy. Then we can provide training to both students and teachers on digital skills by which they can improve their skills. Then encouraging students to use peer-to-peer learning. Then building of a community collaboration needs to be strengthened. Then organizing workshop and orientation programs. Then making online classes more interesting. Then the government should also take some initiative to reduce the digital divide among the students among the country in the country by which we can access and the digital divide will be reduced. So these are the references from which I prepared the papers, and thank you so much.
So thank you very much for your nice presentation. The next paper presentation would be Sangita Kumari ma'am. Are you here? Sangita Kumari ma'am, are you here? Okay, next Parnab Ghosh. Okay, sir, are you ready?
Yes, sir. I'm ready. Sir, am I audible and visible, sir?
Yes, you are audible. Do you have PPT to present, sir?
Actually, sir, I couldn't get time to make my PPT. Actually, I am giving my deliver my lecture. Okay.
Okay. You can carry on.
Because I have to prepare my paper in a very short time. That's why I couldn't get time to make it. Okay. So my paper is transforming education digital during COVID-19 pandemic. Good morning, the chairperson sir and the Kalapatsu sir and all my fellow colleagues. That I'm going to discuss about my paper, and the main objective of my paper is to highlight the digital initiatives taken by the government, especially for the government of India, and different initiatives I will discuss in a very short range. And there are some major issues and challenges there for us to continue these online platforms. So actually, the outbreak has disrupted time's rhythm and range of what used to usual. Actually, it has made us the paradigm shift from those conventional or traditional system to the new normal system, and we have to be usual in this system in a very lucid manner. So, in this context, the educational reform is very, very necessary through different digital efforts. And during this COVID-19 outbreak, the University Grants Commission, NCRT, UGC, all those the competent bodies have made a tremendous effort to make some online platforms, digital platforms, to continue the education system smoothly. So I will discuss some of the major initiatives by the government of India, like Diksha. Now, what is Diksha? Diksha is a the digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing. Is a national level platform for school education initiated by National Council of Educational Resources and Training, that is NCRT, and obviously under this MHRD in the year 2017. It is an open source of technology which helps the teachers to create, upload, and view and access digital content or learning materials relevant to their syllabus. Now I'm moving to another platform, that is ePathshala. That is, it's a very good initiative taken by the government, and it is an application developed by the Ministry of Human Resource Development, that is MHRD, and obviously NCRT in 2015. But if we see that, we will see that these initiatives have already taken by the government before the pandemic, before the lockdowns, and these platforms we are now using during the pandemic and obviously after the pandemic too. And so this ePathshala app is designed to achieve the sustainable development goals, especially for the goals number 4, and bridging the digital divide by providing equitable and equality in education and lifelong learning for all. Now I'm moving to EG Pathshala. EPG Pathshala is another platform like ePathshala. It's also an initiative by MHRD, and it's a national mission on education through ICT and executed by the UGC, specially designed application for the postgraduate students. And all these platforms like ePathshala and EPG Pathshala not only accessible for the students, it's also accessible for the teachers, parents, guardians, and all those academicians if they want to search anything. And another platform is SWAM, that it has all these names have already discussed by the other participants, but I am going to a little bit different. The SWAM, or the Study Webs of Active Learning for Young Aspiring Minds, that is SWAM, is an initiative launched by the Human Resource Development Ministry in 2017. It is an open, the Indian MOOC platform created by the Indian government, which aims to provide the best teaching learning advantages to all the citizens, including the most disadvantaged section of the society. And another is SWAM Purba. It is a television broadcasting initiative. It's also an initiative of MHRD, and it's the high quality educational channels to the student must through DTH, that is, the direct to home service, in a 24/7 basis. It offers actually the curriculum based content for both higher and school education subjects. And SWAM Purba may be thought of simply as a set of 32 DTH channels targeted at making excellent learning resources available to distance locations. Actually, where the internet facility is not available, this SWAM Purba platform may be very much useful for them. And another platform is PM E-Vidya, E-Yantra, National Digital Library, and Coach Nero, virtual labs, and Satsanga. We all know that those who are in the higher education system, we all know that the Satsanga is such a platform for the PhD thesis and dissertations that all the universities and the research scholars have the free access, and also they have the right to upload their thesis and dissertations. And as well as India is another big initiative by the Prime Minister, as well as India, which is known as the National Digital Education Architecture, which is launched in February 2021 to strengthen the India's digital education architecture system. As well as the several platforms have been that we are using right now, the Zoom platform, right now the Google platform, Google Meet platform, Zoom platform, all these platforms, WebEx, all these platforms that we are using. So we cannot be detached from these online platforms, though the pandemic has been gone, or pandemic has been reduced, or the lockdown has been withdrawn. So we cannot disobey or cannot neglect all these platforms, because these platforms will be used for the next in the future generations also. And there are some issues and challenges associated with this online teaching and learning, like availability of electronic gadgets, computer literacy. Means we are not all computer literate or computer savvy in this sense, and there is a safety problems if we do not handle properly or accurately all these online platforms. Then will be there may be danger in our security system. And there is lack of interaction, data privacy system, and connectivity, technical issues. All these platforms is very, very important matters. And lack of interest is another important. If we are not interested to go on our study through national, the online platforms, then we will not be able to get our objectives. So these are the main issues that, but this is we want to again say that this is a paradigm shift that has been made. That lockdown and this COVID-19 pandemic has this is the positive side. I want to mention this. This is the positive side that the online platforms has been given us the immense opportunity to contact or to communicate with all the the universities all over India, or even if we when we run the RCA and FIP courses, then we don't need to go to the elsewhere, and we can do any important course or any short-term courses from our home or from our institution to a very important institution or university. So these are the main points that I have been highlighted. If any question or if any queries is there, you can ask. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Professor Ghosh, Department of Education, Parskuda Bonamali College. So your topic of presentation is transforming education digital during COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you for your nice presentation. Sir,
Yes.
Principal sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, Miss Minoti Das is here. So could you please give her permission because due to the internet connection problem.
Okay. You give him another maximum 5 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, right?
Okay.
Maximum.
It may be 2 or 3 minutes to conclude without presentation. Give only a concluding remark, your suggestion, your recommendation. Give your presentation.
Okay.
Thank you, sir, for your opportunity. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, carry on. Then the next presenter will be ready, Miss Preeti Pragya Shamal. Ma'am, please be ready for the next presentation.
Sir, my PPT is visible?
Yes, it is visible, but be quick of your presentation because we are running very late. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, this is my research paper. So I found there are many gaps in my research paper. Sir, this gap is the investigator had found that most of the study have been conducted related about perception of student and teacher about online assessment during COVID-19 pandemic. And the researcher also conducted many studies and found few studies explain the perception of student teacher about online teaching and assessment in urban colleges of Odisha. The investigator has found few studies related to perception of student and teacher about effectiveness of online teaching during COVID-19 pandemic, particularly in Odisha context. So the researcher want to study and study the perception of teachers and students about effectiveness of online teaching and assessment in higher education. All the study pointed out that students and teacher preparedness is very much need. So the gap of the above emerging need of the present study. So objective of my study to study the perception of teacher on effectiveness of online teaching during COVID-19 pandemic, to study the perception of students on effectiveness of online teaching during COVID-19 pandemic in Odisha, to study the perception of a teacher on online assessment during COVID-19 pandemic, to study the perception of students online assessment during COVID-19 pandemic in Odisha. Then delimitation of the study, perception of teacher.
You are again doing repetition. You please have your concluding remarks, please, because you have no time now. Okay, we have seen all these things. You give your only concluding remarks, please. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, so major finding of the study according to my dimension relation between education, employment, and skill. The study found that the both majority of students and teachers said that and found that still disagree online teaching provide ample scope for education with employment, and online teaching increase student skill in using collaborative technology. Then another dimension, availability of a research. Most of teacher and student agree that number of online tools could be used during online assessment, and it gives exposure for a variety of study material than face-to-face mode. But students feel that all the answer of question in online exam are not available of internet source. Then another finding of my study, evaluation and feedback. Both teacher and student agree that online assessment is designed according to students' need and internet. It is flexible However, most of the teacher and student prefer physical exam over online exam. Students feel that they learn anything due to online exam. So my study refers to that both teacher and students face many problems during COVID-19 pandemic. Both they prefer or give positive relation or positive perception about online teaching and assessment, and it provide the ample scope for improvement of their teaching and learning process during crisis time. Then major implication of my study or major suggestion, this study helped the teacher to make adequate plan, different strategy to eliminate the problem and maximize the teaching learning. Teachers should adopt collaborative, cooperative teaching learning strategy for teaching and evaluation for the student. Teachers should use strategies such as create questions that require higher order thinking, use variety of question type, use protocol exam, mobile phone monitoring option for greater security, offer different version of the same test, and study will serve the guided principal and administrator creating awareness, which is very important in online teaching and assessment. Another suggestion, another finding of the my study or implication for conducting online class, the teacher and student should be provided an uninterrupted Wi-Fi network, especially talking consider into the remote areas. And during online classes, teachers should utilize variety of technology tool, good rapport with the student, provide collaboration opportunity, and regular monitoring program should be conducted for accessibility of all students. This study will help the policy maker to make design according to student need and interest, where all students can access internet, especially rural students, and understand the online teaching learning process. The administrative authority, college level, state level, national level should take initiative for organizing orientation program, provide alternative device such as radio by which all students can attend online classes, and proper implementation of online teaching and learning. Thank you, sir. Sir, I am audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Sir?
You are audible. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you are audible. Thank you. Thank you for presentation. Then,
Thank you, sir.
Suman Babu, carry forward. Suman Babu?
Yes, sir.
Carry forward. Yes, she has completed. Next presenter.
The next presenter is Miss Piti Pragya Shamal. Are you present here,
Within
ma'am?
maximum 5 minutes, because we are going beyond the time. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Maximum 5 minutes.
Okay.
Just
Miss
main
Piti
point.
Pragya Shamal, are you present? No. The next paper presenter is Jagadish Bisal. Are you present here?
Yes, sir, I am present here.
Okay.
Are you ready with your PPT?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I am ready.
Okay. Now present it. It's humble request to all presenters to be quick because we are running quite late. We have to maintain the strict time limit. You will be given only 4 to 5 minutes to present your paper. Don't focus on your introduction point. Just focus on the gist.
Sir, my
or the
PPT is visible to all.
Yes, it is visible.
Yes,
Yes, it is visible. Now carry on.
Okay, good morning, all of you. Good morning, all of you. My name is Jagdish Biswal, Faculty, Department of Education, Ravenshaw University, Cuttack. So my title of the study is Study and Challenges of Rural Higher Education Institution During and After the COVID-19 in Odisha. As we all of us knows that the COVID-19 has not affect the social life. It also affect the academic life of the people. Coronavirus is affecting the normal life in every possible manner, and unprecedented worldwide lockdown has not only made our life miserable but also imposed us to live inside our homes. During inside the home, different teaching learning also proceeds to online education. As other participants also highlighted about that, online education is very accessible for the urban people. But what about the rural educational institutions? So my topic is all about focusing the rural higher educational institutions, students and teachers regarding the challenges they faced during and after the COVID-19 pandemic. So the objective of the study is to, the central focus is practice and challenges of rural higher educational institution of Odisha with regards to CBCS pattern during the COVID-19 outbreak. For the conducting of the study, these following methodology is used. Descriptive survey design is adopted to conduct this study, and the populations and sample of the studies are the target populations for the study comprise of all the rural degree colleges of Utkal University, 9 districts such as Angul, Project, Henana, Jagatsinghpur, Kendrapada, Khurda, Nayagad, Puri, Jajpur comes under the jurisdictions of Utkal University, Bhubaneswar. But in the Jajpur district, and also selected only 4 colleges, non-government aided colleges, by using the Purba sampling technique. Used in research, interview for teachers and students. My delimitation of the study is delimited with the rural colleges of Jajpur district only. The study also delimited with non-government aided college. So the major findings, what I get from the
sir, you only go through major
research,
findings, please. Okay, only go through major findings, please, sir. Okay.
Yes, sir. In most of the rural colleges, teachers were overburdened with the work during this pandemic. They have took classes like +2 classes as well as undergraduate classes with some academic work, which creates some burden among the teachers. Curriculum for undergraduate courses has been updated as per the CBCS pattern. There is a lack of the CBCS pattern in colleges. So the poor rural background students can't offer the book price, and even the library do not have provided any books related to the CBCS pattern. It was found that there is no ICT lab facilities in rural colleges, hence both teacher and student faced learning process during COVID-19 outbreak. Most teachers are during the pandemic, as they don't have proper making of documents, sharing of documents and PPT during the teaching learning process. The research work and innovations would get hampered during this pandemic because they the alternative way of data collection they do not identify properly through online education. Most rural students are not able to attend the online classes during the pandemic, as they don't have any access on smartphones and also in internet. They are highly dependent on the books only during this pandemic situations. So in choice-based credit system, there are different courses which they have to completed in their teaching learning process. So they face different problem by teachers. The major problem of students and teacher in CBCS is that there is no sufficient time for the completion of course due to the various engagement with other work. Science stream students faced the practical part of their curriculum. So these are some reference of my research. So with this, I like to sign off. Thank you all of you.
Okay, thank you for your nice presentation. Now the paper presenter should be Dr. Ramchandra Majhi. Sir, are you present?
Sir, I will present my paper.
So do you have PPT to present?
No, I don't have any PPT, sir. Only I have my.
Okay.
Okay, carry on your presentation within maximum 5 minutes. Okay.
Thank you, sir. My heartiest respect and gratitude to my guide, who facilitated me to do my research work and getting my PhD, Dr. Professor P.K. Mishra, sir, and all the dignitaries who have in this platform. Sir, my present paper is e-learning in higher education, the need of the hour. So far higher education is concerned, the e-learning is very much essential or necessary for us. Which is need of the hour means this is the absolute necessity for us, because the COVID-19 pandemic, we learn from this situation that we have to learn through e-learning. E-learning situation is not new to us. It is old for us because we have accessible to different internet situation. This is mobile phones or that is our Android set. So Android set we can learn, we access the things properly. But nowadays e-learning in higher situation, higher education is very much essential because we have been learning a new concept of e-learning after pandemic COVID-19. It is being globally accepted due to coronavirus. This is the new era of learning which has both opportunity and challenges. E-learning seems to be one of the ultimate and accessible learning conditions when face-to-face mode is used. During coronavirus, during pandemic situation, we have been learning through e-learning situation because there is the position of social distancing, through which we could learn through e-learning. Not only we avail of the opportunity, but also we make our mind to face the new challenges of e-learning. The concept of e-learning is not new to us, but the situation of pandemic teaches us to survive in the knowledge world. Many progressive schools had already done a lot for the adoption of technology in their schools, which help in quickly transitioning to a completely online delivery of teaching during the current crisis and with significant success. A recent survey conducted showed that 92% of students along with parents were happy with the online classes of delivering the lesson. So in this way, one can learn anywhere, anytime, and depending upon the accessibility of the learner. He can learn the same concept, same competency from different teachers. If one is not make himself understand about the concept, he can go through the different teachers in website, in YouTube channels, in different platforms to understand properly. So the presentation style, presentation of the concept, and motivated to the learners, excel the learners more and more. So the global COVID-19 pandemic has triggered new ways of conducting the teaching learning process online. E-learning is now applicable not only to learn academics, but also to conduct extracurricular activities for students, informative online sessions, online conferences, and webinars. The demand for e-learning has risen significantly and will continue doing so as society starts adapting to social distancing post this pandemic. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you your precise presentation. Now the next presenter is Twinkle Mistro. Are you present here? Twinkle Mistro, ma'am, are you present here? Perhaps no. So then we have to move on. The next speaker would be Biswajit Mistro, sir. Are you present?
Yes, sir, I am present.
Okay. So do you have PPT to present?
No, sir, I am not prepare my PPT, but I present my topic through screen share.
Okay, you can proceed, but you have to maintain the strict limit of time. We are running late, quite late, so far as the time is concerned. Okay, so focus on the gist of the genesis of your presentation. Okay, sir.
Sir, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, Chairperson, sir, and all the participants. I am Biswajit Mistro, Assistant Professor of Silbhadra Teachers Training Institute. My webinar topic is higher education in post-COVID world. So, COVID-19 is known as the most terrible pandemic in the world. The economic, social, health, and education system, all the countries to the world were not normal condition due to this pandemic, especially education system. Education from lower class to upper class was most affected. We know that education is the backbone of the nation. as a result of this pandemic, the spine of the notion become very fragile. People all over the world were trapped in house. As a result of house arrest, the education system also become house arrest. Government in almost all countries has introduced e-learning to promote home-based education. Various colleges and universities try to education system forward by making learning apps. People all over the world country to study on the online platform. India is no exception. Union Human Resource Development Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal launched Bharat Pade online Abhijan. How to improve online learning campaign was been started in that regard. The main purpose of this campaign was participation of teachers and students. In the wake of the pandemic, the private organization was reportedly increased their source of income. Apps like Byju's, Unacademy are very popular for higher education in present day India. Background of higher education in post-COVID. Reviewing the history, it is seen that the school have a record of carrying out their activities to spine of various unstable, unfavorable and uncertain situations. The universities has to deal with challenge such a transaction of digital system and globalization in addition to problem like political and financial inconsistencies. At different times, students, society, country and nation has made various changes in their structure in the greater interest or need. But the corona pandemic is affecting almost all education in the world. So at pre-COVID time, our education system confined to classroom and face-to-face. But post-COVID time, we really changed our position. MHRD and UGC had tried to provide education system through e-GAN course, e-GAN-dhara and SWAM, etc. to promote the education system. Next, impact on higher education. Pandemic COVID-19 has severely affected total education system of India as well as the global. But same almost impact area of higher education of world are pointed below, and unstable learning activities. Next, mixed impact on research profession. Next, impact of evaluation system. And last, decreased employment opportunity. Next, step taken compensate for education. Pandemic COVID-19 has severely affected to the total education system of India as well as global. So changing is inevitable because of which has been imposed on society. It is hoped that the opportunity created by post-COVID will lead to a better future. Tomorrow, we see a new morning, we will see a new morning and new sunrise. The following step taken to compensate for the loss of education after COVID-19. First, use simple method for learning. Second, providing effective alternative learning opportunities. Third, reducing student dropout. Fourth, compress curriculum and syllabus. And fifth, reconstruction of damaged academic year. Next, conclusion. Lastly, it can be said that while the education system is disrupted at the time of post-COVID, colleges and universities had tried to recover it. The trend of regarding through online apps at COVID and post-COVID was greatly increased, but After the opening school, colleges and universities, this online trend has declined significantly. As we has been India, big online learning apps like Unacademy, Vedantu has reduced their workforce. This proved that the popularity of online classes has dropped dramatically after class in face-to-face mode in classrooms at school, college and universities. Yet, in the case of higher education, we can never get rid of the e-learning process. So, we can say that COVID-19 has passed sometime in our life, but we have not completely stopped learning. COVID and post-COVID period, online platform has taken their curriculum forward through webinar and Zoom event of various colleges and universities. So during post-COVID, we would continue the education system both online and offline. As a result, the education system around the world is expected to be very successful. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much for your beautiful presentation. So, last but not the least, Dr. Kulomuni Shao, ma'am, are you present here?
Yes, sir.
He's male.
Okay, 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 madam. Okay, sir. So it is your turn.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Okay, let's continue.
Just a minute, sir. Is it visible, sir? Is the slide visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, sir. So I'll be discussing about the digitalization in higher education, innovative practices in research, and due to the paucity of time, I will just focus on two major vision of higher education as envisaged in National Education Policy 2020. So the first one, revamping curriculum, pedagogy, assessment, and student support for enhanced students' experiences. And the second major is increased access, equity, and inclusion through a range of measures. It will include the ICT or educational technology. When we talk about that, we can refer to the recommendation of NEP 2020 regarding the DIXA, Digital Infrastructure for Knowledge Sharing, which will be acting as a national repository for high quality resources on foundational literacy as well as numeracy. Again, it has also emphasized on establishment of NRF, National Research Foundation, for catalyzing the quality research in the country. And the sole responsibility of NRF will be funding, seeding, acting as the liaisoning between the researchers and other agencies to carry out the researches for the betterment of the society and for the betterment of India as a whole. Now, coming to that, we can talk about that digitalization, which has been emphasized emphatically in the National Education Policy 2020. It says that there will be establishment of NETF, National Educational Technology Forum, which will be acting as an autonomous body for creating and providing the basic platform for free exchange of ideas, use of technology, and to enhance learning, assessment, and planning, including the administration of higher education institutions. The main aim of NETF will be to facilitate the decision making and to induce a deployment as well as use technology by providing the good leadership to the educational institutions of higher education institutions. Again, when we talk about the NEF, the major functions will be like that. It will act as the providing independent evidence-based advice to central as well as state governments. It will also help in building intellectual and institutional capacities in educational technology. It will also articulate new directions for research and innovation. Now, coming to all these, this has been also highlighted in the National Education Policy 2020 regarding the major initiatives recommended for the emergence of digital technologies, like pilot studies are to be conducted by appropriate agencies like NETF, CITs, NIOS, IGNO, IITs, NITs. Along with that, also online teaching platforms and tools like Swayam, Diksha, a digital repository will be established for the content, including of creation of coursework, learning games, simultaneous augmented reality, virtual reality, All the virtual labs will be also acting as the support system for Diksha, Swayam Prabha. Along with all those, there will be also training for the teachers who will be providing learner-centric pedagogy. Along with there will be also national assessment forum like Parak, like NTA, which will be carrying out all the assessment processes or practices, and they will be also designing frameworks for the entire country. Now, my topic is only confined to the major research which has been, disrupted due to the process of, lockdown, shutdown, or due to the restrictions of physical movement from one person to one place to another place by the researchers. So I'll be discussing about that, how this digitalization of higher education has influenced us, has facilitated the process of research work at higher education level, and this will be discussed in 3 phases. Number 1, pre-data analysis phase, during data analysis phase, and the third one is post-data analysis phase. Now, due to all these ICT gadgets or ICT applications, now we will discuss about pre-data analysis phase, while the researcher is to search reviews regarding the better understanding or in-depth understanding of the problem in a better way, and to have gathering or to have better understanding of the problem. The researcher can take the help of Jester, Eric, Sodhganga, Gangotri, PostProQuest, and all these are very helping hand to the researcher during this pandemic or the time to come, because we are in the verge of the 4th wave or 5th wave. We don't know what is the uncertainty about the 4th wave or 5th wave. Again, for this also, by going through all these reviews through Jester, Eric, the researcher is to develop certain tool, and that tool can be also transacted to the respondents or target respondents in order to collect the data with the help of Kobo Toolbox, Google Docs, and these are the 2 major e-platforms which can be utilized for developing tools and dissemination of you can also say circulation of these tools to the researchers in order to collect the relevant data which are pertinent to your research design or research purposes. The second phase, data analysis. During the data analysis phase, also we can take the help of ICT or digital platforms, like we can say both the quantitative and qualitative researchers may take the help of data analysis process with the help of, we can say, SPSS, statistical package on social science, spreadsheet, Stata, SAS, statistical analysis system, VASA-START, which is also one of the online application which can be utilized for the quantitative data analysis process as far as research is concerned. Further, we can say for the qualitative data analysis process, the researchers can take the help of NVivo, Atlas T, Deduce, QDA Minor Light, Max QDA, annotations, and other platforms are also there, which can be also very handy for the researcher to employ all those softwares and to analyze the qualitative data for the purpose of dissemination of knowledge. The third phase, after analysis, we can say ICT can be employed for post-data analysis, because we can also come to know that there is a term called plagiarism, and for that also we need to also refer the citation index references or manuals, we can say. For these, we can say that whatever researches have been conducted, whatever reviews have been reviewed by the researchers, whatever citations have been gone through by the researcher, that are to be given proper weightage, so that other researchers will not claim that you are cheating or you are just copying the theme of other researchers. So that's why in this context we can say APA manual, mainly Dextef, can be utilized for citation of references or bibliography as per the APA manual, American Psychological Association manual, or mainly Dextef can be also utilized for giving a proper safe and direction to the bibliography. Again, for checking the copy, or you can say the malpractice, or you can say the plagiarism, we can take the help of Turnitin, Grammarly, QuickText, DupliChecker, Arcoon, which are there are number of softwares which can be utilized for plagiarism checking. Now, time has come to us that we're talking about all these pre-data analysis, during data analysis, post-data analysis. Have we gone through some of the evidences? Yes, I have gone through some of the evidences. What research says about all these, softwares, all these tools which can be utilized or which are effective or ineffective during this pandemic or after this pandemic or the days to come, which we don't know, which is unprecedented also, unpredictable also. So by going through all these research studies, what I came to know that the research studies conducted by different researchers across the country or across the globe revealed that not only the quantitative research rather or but also the qualitative researchers also took the help of different tools and which are very pertinent and effective for them to carry out their research work and complete their research work in a vivid manner, because it is well said that nothing is we can say something is better than nothing, because it has been restricted or there is imposition of lockdown, sundown, and there is restriction of physical movement. But researchers need to go ahead. Researchers need to go ahead with their motto, with their objective, and to carry out the research and to produce good things for the society so that we can move ahead, because the 2030 target of NEP 2020 or 2040 target of NEP 2020 is to be ensured by the research work. So what I can come to conclude that while using your ICT or digitalization of higher education in the context of conducting research, we can take the help of different complicated issues, different complicated data sets, or we can say mega data sets, which can be very simplified with the help of all these ICT tools for carrying out the research work or for accomplishing the research which has been taken by any researcher during this exigencies or problematic situations. So we can say that the reduction of research cost can also be possible with the appropriate, relevant, and updated, we can say updated research tools, or we can say ICT tools, in order to carry out the research work and to complete the research work that may be during the pandemic or post-pandemic situation. Thank you all. Thank you all for your kind listening.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you,
Kulomani
sir.
Sahu, for your energetic presentation. So, Suman sir, let me manage the show because we have to switch over to the next session. So, thank you. Almost all the paper presentators out of 16, 11 paper presentators have presented their papers very nicely, and the areas they have covered that they have ensured a great deal of novelty in their presentation. That papers were from mobile learning, student engagement in the online learning system, then education in rural India, then use of open educational resources, then perception of students on online educational system as well as assessment, and then your digital technology, then digital learning, then transforming educational technology, digital learning during COVID-19 pandemic, then challenges in case of rural higher education institutions, then e-learning, and then digitalization of higher education. But the last paper was very nice and alluring and novelty out and out that Dr. Kulomani Sahu has prepared the paper on digitalization in higher education, innovative practices in research. That is a huge paper. I appreciate Dr. Kulomani Sahu for his energetic presentation. Please bear with us because we are running beyond the 30 minutes late. So now time is to request our member IQAC, Dr. Tushar Kanti Mandal, as the member one of the members organizing committee, to carry forward the further proceeding of the program, that is technical session 6, to request our honorable speaker Dr. Rupa Das Gupta madam. So now the time is for Dr. Tushar Kanti Mandal to introduce Dr. Rupa Das Gupta madam. Okay, thank you. Over to Dr. Tushar Kanti Mandal sir.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, audible. Yes, audible.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Now we are entering technical session 6 and today's third session. In this session, two speakers are there. First speaker, Dr. Rupa Dasgupta. Before inviting him for his speech, a brief introduction about her. Dr. Rupa Dasgupta, Principal, Debra Thana Mahavidyalaya, Thana Sriti Khudiram Sriti, Shohid Khudiram Sriti Mahavidyalaya, Debra, Paschim Medinipur, is serving in this institution in the capacity as principal with effect from August 2018. She has previously shown her efficiency and proficiency for NAAC accreditation of Raja N.L. Khan Women's College, Midnapur, in the later grade A as the IQAC coordinator. From the date of her joining in the present institution, she is trying her level best for taking the institution into greater heights. Being a promising scholar in zoology, she is having a good number of research publications, and she also has very good NAAC exposure as per the latest revised assessment framework, as she could have been able to submit the SSR to the NAAC very recently. This is the brief introduction about Professor Dr. Rupa Dasgupta. Now I am inviting Professor Dasgupta for for her deliberation. Please, madam, the platform is now yours. Please,
Sir,
madam.
just a minute, madam. I welcome you on behalf of Yogoda Satsanga Palpara Mahavidyalaya. So now platform is yours. Okay, you can carry on your job.
Thank you, Dr. Mondul, for your introduction. And I firstly thank Dr. Pradipta Kumar Mishra, Principal of YS Yogoda, YS Palpara College, for inviting me to this webinar. And just before starting, I won't be taking much of your time, but I am very aware. I've seen the careful planning of the different technical sessions of this webinar, and the eminent speakers who have spoken before me and the papers which have been presented. So I'm sure that the entire topic of digital transformation in higher education during COVID-19 pandemic has been well elaborated by my previous illustrious speakers. So what I would focus on in my today's deliberation is mainly my experience as a principal of a rural college, having limited infrastructural facility, having its own limitation, both financial and infrastructural limitations, where during the COVID-19 pandemic, we had to adapt like your college or like many other colleges, we had to adapt. And what we did to make our teaching learning process accessible to students. I present now. Just a minute. I hope, is my presentation visible?
Yes, madam. Visible.
Okay, so I would really focus on this topic, that is digital tools in teaching learning process. I am again repeating that I would simply focus on my experience as a principal of this rural college, with having our own limitations, but making our efforts to do the best for the students, whatever we could do and whatever we have learned during this pandemic process. I will focus on that aspect only. Just a second, there is a problem with the presentation. Just a second. Okay, so coming to the basic goals of using tools during this pandemic times for digital tools for teaching learning process, we are all aware that we were basically looking to connect and communicate with our students, because during the pandemic time, there was no physical presence of the students. We are all aware of it. So the first basic problem was to connect and communicate. And then the second basic goal was to teach, how to take classes, how to take assessment, how to take the internal examination, different assessment, and later on the final examination. And then there comes the basic point that we can teach. Okay, we can teach, but the students are not getting any access to the library. So they are confined to their homes. So how do we share the resources that are required, that are the learning materials, the books? How do we share these resources with our students? So these were the three basic goals that we had when we started off using digital tools in the pandemic time. And we belonging to different colleges, we all tried to use open source tools, softwares, to make these goals achievable. So when we selected a resource, we actually went the following factors were considered. We are all aware of it, whether it is available openly, whether the connectivity is a problem. Some softwares require the internet connectivity, how much strength is required. Some are easily accessible, and you need to have internet connectivity stable in your own institution to run these tools. And what are the techniques used by these tools? Definitely, if they're too sophisticated, if who are going to use these techniques? We are going to use these techniques, many of whom we are not tech savvy, we are not that familiar or proficient with using techniques. So techniques should be user friendly so that the teachers can easily adapt to these techniques. And obviously the feasibility. If they're open access tools freely available, then it is okay. Otherwise, we'll have to consider the financial part of it. So coming to connect and communicate, I am aware that many of you will already know that these are already in use in different colleges. I will try to focus on what new can be done also. So we are all aware that during the pandemic times, we created our own, all colleges have created their official Facebook pages, and their use, all important information have been dissipated through the Facebook pages, and chat, messaging in Facebook have been effectively used to communicate. And we have all of us have used the WhatsApp groups, and but we are aware of the limitation of the WhatsApp group, that if it is for honors courses it is fine, but for general courses limited number of participants, about 256 I think, is sometimes a hindrance, because for general courses or compulsory papers a number of WhatsApp groups was to be created. And but we have used the WhatsApp group effectively, all the colleges have used. And many colleges like us have created an official YouTube channel, and in the YouTube channel we have uploaded classes, we have uploaded all our programs and everything, so the students can access. So these are all familiar terms with us. Coming to the limitation of using WhatsApp, we are also aware that using Telegram, also a similar app to WhatsApp, there is no limitation of participants, so number of participants can be much more, there is no limitation, so we can involve a large number of students in these groups. And there is a feature of marking the important messages, otherwise in WhatsApp group we know the message gets lost because of a number of messages. In our college, in addition to what these three very common things that different colleges have used, we have also installed a learning management system, which is based on Moodle platform, and we have linked that learning management system to our website. And what we can see is through that learning management system there is a announcement part and there is a chat part, so we can always make a course structure. We have installed, we have uploaded all the study materials here, and also communicated with the students through our chatting and announcement system, so the SMS goes to all the registered students in LMS. So this is one feature we have used very successfully, not only to share our resources but also to communicate. All of our colleges have used websites. We have also used websites, so that is nothing new. The notices and other things have been displayed there. And we have our own, all colleges have their own database management system. Our database management system is obviously provided by a service provider, and in the database management system the phone numbers and email IDs of all the students who have enrolled for the last 5 years are there. So what we have done is used that database to connect to students through SMS, to bulk SMS. So we can send any sort of one, though it's a one-way traffic, we can only send SMS. So that is the these are the ways by which we have really communicated to our students, out of which we all are aware that WhatsApp group and Telegram groups, and obviously our LMS with chatting facilities, they have helped us a lot, and also the Facebook pages have also helped us a lot. And there is another way we have already, I think we are aware that we have different colleges, we have used the Google form, and in Google form we can go to the drive of the mail ID and create a Google form, and we can send get responses, analyze the responses, and from the responses we can get the database of the students. So it is a form by which in our LMS there is a way we can assess our students online, and through Google Forms also different colleges have taken assessments. So communication part is through this 2, 3, 4 platforms that we have used, and I am sure many of you have used to communicate with the students. And other than WhatsApp, Facebook, and also Telegram, where the students can also revert back, give their feedback, and also in the LMS they can revert back and give the feedback to us so that we can also act accordingly, we can communicate back. Coming to teach and assess, all of us in different colleges, sitting in different places, we have searched for open access tools which do not have any financial implication as such other than the internet connectivity. So we have definitely gone for the Google Meet platform, or gone for Zoom, or gone for Cisco WebEx. Some of us have gone for Microsoft classes. What I want to emphasize here that during the pandemic times, we registered our domain in arnet.in. That's a Government of India portal. We are all aware of it. If we register our domain in arnet.in, we get the ac.in for educational institutes, and we applied in GSUIT, and that many institutions I think are aware. If we apply for GSUIT connection for educational institution during the pandemic time, GSUIT was made freely accessible for educational institutions. So more than during Google Meet, what happens, the basic hindrance is, we are all aware of it, that only 100% participants can join at particular meet. So if we get a GSUIT connection, and through that mail ID, if we conduct the Google Meet, it is up to 250 participants that we can connect to. And so the connectivity, the number of students that can participate, that increases. At present, that facility, free facility, has been withdrawn by GSUIT. So for enterprise, because the educational unit costs much, because number of students are taken into consideration, fees per student. So an enterprise unit is there. So many service providers are providing 1 or 2 Gmails for large classes or meetings where the GSUIT facility will be available. So that can be used at the current point of time. We are also doing that. So increase the number of participants in Gmeet. So we are aware that these are the other platforms. All are having its own limitation. We know that Zoom is having, again, a very less number, around 50 students, participants can attend. So there are different limitations of this teaching apps, but what I wanted to emphasize is that taking GSUIT access with Google Meet will definitely increase the number of participants. Another app which we recently found very useful and we are using is TeachMint app. It is a freely available app on the internet, and where the number of participants is not limited, and the StudyMate, it is a mixture of LMS and teaching app. So we can really upload our study materials as we do in LMS. We can organize our classes. We can do recordings which have been stopped in Gmeet now. We cannot record our classes. That facility, free facility, has been withdrawn. So we can do all those things in TeachMeet without the limitation of the number of participants and recording facility. So this TeachMeet, if the students install it in their mobile phones, we can easily teach them, access them without the limitations that we have in Google Meet. Coming to the resource sharing part, once we teach online, there is definitely a gap. The students want to get some resource from which they can obviously learn, and they can obviously prepare for their examinations. And during the pandemic time, it was a very difficult time for the students to actually get access to those resources. So what we have actually done is, we in our own college, I wanted to say that I am only sharing the experiences as a principal of this college, having various limitations. So what we did actually in our library, this is our website. In the library, we have a digital library e-resource facility. In the digital library e-resource facility, there are various options, like we can go for LMS resources. The study materials of different subjects have been uploaded in LMS, so students can access those study materials. Those are user-friendly, student-friendly, actually class note type of materials. They are given in LMS along with ebooks. Ebooks are also available in LMS. We are aware of the NMICT projects of the central government of e-Pathshala, Shodhganga. These are easily freely accessible resources. National Digital Library, these are there. Along with this, what we have done, there is DSpace. We have procured a virtual space. We are all aware of it, I think, DSpace. And in the DSpace, we have uploaded e-books and e-resources, so the students can easily access e-resources from their home. And NList, we are all aware of. Institutional repository we have created for the teachers to share their own publications. So these are the e-resources we have created. This is a screenshot of the DSpace. You can see that there are a number of subjects, the total number of subjects there, a number of books that have been uploaded by the teachers in the DSpace. are there visible here. And say, for example, I choose Bengali, and if I choose Bengali, I want to see the books in Bengali and choose Rabindranath Tagore. Say I choose a particular view, there is an option of view and open a particular book, and we can open the book and the student can easily read the book. So more than 150 books are there. So the students can easily access the books of different subjects right from our website. The books are uploaded are relevant to their curriculum. So they don't have to search much, and they can focus on the books that they actually require, and they can get them in our DSpace. The other resources that I was talking of, you're all aware, the e-Pathshala, e-PG Pathshala, these are the initiatives of MHRD and NCRT. And this, they are having thousands and thousands of ebooks and videos and different resources that the students can use. So what we do is we encourage our students to use them. The link is provided in the website, and tutorial is provided in the website, and the library conducts orientation and induction, means introduction to these resources. These are meetings where the student is introduced to these resources, so that the student can access more ebooks other than what are there in the DSpace, for which we have uploaded. Shodhganga, you are aware that it is the theses are uploaded. These are mainly for the researchers and the teachers. At least you are all aware that we have, all colleges have encouraged their students to log in and register. That we have done for our students. The students can log in and they can access numerous ebooks and journals. If they're earning to learn more, if they want to learn more, learn more from the reference books, they can go and access the enlist materials. NDL, the link is provided in the website. Again, we conduct programs to encourage students to go into NDL. We have tried to register them into NDL, and these are all freely available softwares, and there are lakhs of books in NDL in different disciplines of arts and science, humanities and science, and students are encouraged to access these resources. And when we are having physical classes in the classroom itself, some demo are given so that students are encouraged to use e-resources. And in the institutional repository that we have created in the DSpace itself, the teachers of different departments have uploaded their publications, their books, their research publications. You are aware of it. For example, in history, if I open history, we find that these are the publications of our teachers. So teachers have uploaded their materials for, obviously, for exchange of views. I will conclude my presentation with the digital initiatives in higher education, which I am sure that many of the previous speakers have already elaborated. But other than what I have already shown, we always encourage our students to use this, like the virtual lab. The web address is given. The teachers of science and the students of science, especially the pure science fraternity, chemistry, physics, etc., can use this virtual lab. I find it very useful and encourage our students to use virtual lab. And in smart classrooms, we occasionally log on and show the students different experiments that are available. These are all freely accessible. The institution can access them and students can access them. And different colleges were conducting spoken English classes. So this software I also find very useful. And we, other than the language lab that we have installed in our college with Wordsworth software package, which is also a digital tool. The language lab uses the digital tool of a sophisticated digital package that is used. Other than this is a freely accessible package, which anyone can use, having its own PC and internet connectivity for learning spoken English. NDL I have already spoken of. It is an initiative of the Higher Education Department. We are all aware of the Swayamprabha scheme. Many of the speakers have definitely spoken about it. And there are more than, I think, 32 DTH channels which telecast a large variety of programs, classroom teachings and resource sharing on different courses of humanities. And colleges or universities are encouraged to keep separate space for DTH channel where the students can view these programs. These are innovative waves of learning. And when, say, we have time for, we don't have a specific class, or we can allot sometimes, maybe in a week or so, if we plan to see the content of those channels and plan accordingly, sometimes we can show the students some of these channels to enlighten them on the current developments of different subjects. High quality teaching resources are available. So I have come to the end of my presentation. I thank again to the organizers of this webinar for inviting me. I hope I've been able to give you some information regarding the use of digital tools in my own college. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you for your nice presentation. Your topic was that you presented was digital tools in teaching learning process. You now easily presented that I think it will be helpful for teachers and students of present times. In your presentation, you discussed about the basic goals during this digitalization process of higher education, and what will be the basic goals in this digital teaching learning process. And you said about facts, 4 facts that should be considered, particularly availability, connectivity, techniques, and visibility. You also said different apps and tools that can be that has used already used in different educational institutions, particularly WhatsApp, Telegrams, Facebook, etc. That is basically part communication part and social media apps that is helpful for the students. And then you said about the learning management system, that database management system elaborately, and then teaching and access, particularly different platforms that are using in our teaching learning process, digital process, particularly Google Meet, Zoom platform, WebEx, TeachMint, etc. We are facing here about the students' engagement, particularly a large number of students cannot engage themselves in particular Google Meet or Zoom platform. And how to overcome this problem, we have suggested some app, particularly TeachMint app. You have mentioned that. And then elaborately we discussed about the resource sharing system in your institution and what should be in other institution that can be found from your suggestions. Institutional repository system also discussed by you. You mentioned about virtual lab. All this discussed uh, in your brief presentation. Thank you for your nice discussion. All will be helpful for our students. And also, we can use your ideas too. Thank you once again, madam. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir.
Now over to Dr. Pradipta Kumar Mishra sir for the
Thank you.
next part of the
Thank you.
session.
Thank you so much, Tushar Babu. Our next speaker of the pre-lunch session, Dr. Jyoti Shankar Pradhan, remaining in the capacity as Associate Professor and Head, PG Department of Education, Fakirmon University, Basavihar, Baleshwar, Odisha. So I welcome you, sir. On behalf of Yogoda Satsanga Palpara Mahavidyalaya, we extend our warm welcome to you. Before giving you the platform, let me our learned participants, dignitaries, and delegates about the credentialities lies with you, adhering to your scholarship and personality. Dr. Jyoti Shankar Pradhan, PhD in Education from Utkal University, Bhubaneswar, are his latest or highest qualification. Dr. Pradhan is having more than 16 years of teaching experience both at UG and PG level. He is having PhD guidance of 4 PhD guidance products. MPhils, he has produced 6 MPhil scholars and 87 PG scholars to his credit. And he is having a good number of research experience in the Department of Elementary Education and Central Institute of Educational Technology, NCERT, New Delhi, from 1st October 2004 to 31st July 2006. He has produced 18 research publications at the international level or in international journals, 11 in national journals, and has presented 6 conference papers, produced a textbook, written 8 book chapters in edited books, acted as a resource person in 11 workshops, participated in 63 seminars, workshops, and conferences, participated in 15 refresher or faculty development programs, and organized 5 conferences in his capacity as organizing secretary. He is having association with a good number of academic and professional bodies mainly among these member board of studies in education, integrated B.Ed, M.Ed, FM University, then member board of conducting examinations UG and PG MA education of FM University, member SRC, I mean subject research committee in education FM University, life member of IATE, life member of AIAER. All these things lies with him to certify his credibility. Regarding professional experience, he is having very good number of professional experience. Notable among these, director, he is acting as director career counseling cell of FM University with effect from 1st July 2021, and also acting as vice president sports committee of Fakirmon University with effect from 1st July 2020, and he was officer in charge academics and research Institute of Education and Research Mangalayatan University Aligarh from 18th December 2013 to 17th December 2015. And these are the credentials with Dr. Jyoti Shankar Pradhan. Sir, I welcome you again. And now the platform is yours.
Thank
you
you.
can have your deliberation. Sir, please.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Audible. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you, Professor Mishra, giving a nice introductions about mine, and respected Principal Professor Pradipta Kumar Mishra, YS Palpara Mahavidyalaya, and all the members of organizing committee, and all my fellow speakers and all the participants who are present in the virtual platforms. And first of all, I would like to congratulate Professor Pradipta Kumar Mishra, Principal YS Palpara Mahavidyalaya, and his entire team, organizing committee members, and IQAC cell of YS Palpara Mahavidyalaya for organizing such types of events. Thank you all. And today, in my deliberation, I will share about the impact of the COVID-19 on higher education in India, and basically what are the impact of COVID-19 on educational activity, that is teaching, learning, and professional development, research and academic research and professional developments, and educational assessments, and what is the impact of COVID-19 on employment, and what are the other platforms generally available for online learning. So the outbreak of the COVID-19 has forced many countries to enforce lockdowns that brought everything to a standstill, including the teaching and learning process. And the educational sector suffered the most due to this pandemic. And this pandemic has made the world to observe social distancing in public space. And according to the UNESCO report, more than 90% of the total student population in the world was affected due to the pandemic during the initial phase of its outbreak. And it has caused a serious and very deep-rooted impact on the social, economic, and also psychological life of the people in different parts of the world. And the guidelines that were issued by the World Health Organization, which were ratified by the most of the countries across the world, compelled the governments to shut down the institutions of mass gathering. So, along with the educational institutions, the academic year and examination and also competitive examinations were postponed indefinitely. And these steps was taken in order to slow down and contain the spread of the coronavirus in India by the segregating the people who are infected with COVID-19. And all education institutions in India were temporarily closed in March 2020. And as per the UNESCO report, more than 157 crore students across 191 countries are severely impacted by the closure of the educational institutions. And in India, nearly 32 crore students are impacted by the COVID-19, and nationwide lockdown from the March 25, which forced the government to contain the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. And and it has affected the academic activities at various levels, including the cancellation of the university examinations, college examinations, and even conducting the entrance examination is also postponed for medicals and other disciplines. And the regular classes were suspended, citing threat to the lives of the learners and the teachers, and it also affected the lives of the aspirants who are preparing for the competitive and entrance examination. And in April 2020, the Ministry of Human Resource Development, now it is renamed the Ministry of Education, from July 2020, after the National Education Policy NEP 2020 was published, presented alternative academic calendar guidelines on continuing the formal educations online in 2020 and 21 academic year. And the alternative academic calendar assumes that Indian states have established the digital ecosystem where all the teachers and the students enjoy the seamless access to the internet and smartphone. However, a 2019 report found that only 32% of the rural populations of 12 plus years and 54% of the urban populations had internet access, and that only 11% of the Indian households have the computer, such as the desktop, laptop, and tablets, excluding smartphone. A status report on education during COVID-19 indicated that students studying in the government institutions were hit particularly hard, with more than 80% of the government institutions students in Odisha, Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh not receiving any educational materials during the lockdown. And this failure was mostly because the families did not have access to the digital devices and e-learning tools, and in homes that had digital access, WhatsApps around 75%, and phone calls between the teacher and students around 38% was the primary mode for the delivering the education in both public and private higher education institutions. But more than the 75% of the parents had the trouble ensuring the WhatsApp lessons and online learning because of the lack of the internet connections or the inability to afford it, or because of the poor internet signal or speed. And pandemic COVID-19 had severely affected the total education system of India as well as the globe. And so far as the educational activity is concerned, the institutions got closed down with all educational activities, and created many challenges for the stakeholders. So the various activities like the admissions, examinations, entrance tests of the university for different courses, even competitive examinations conducted by the different agency, and different examinations conducted by the college and universities are postponed. And many entrance tests for higher study got cancelled, which created a great challenge in the life of a students of higher study. And the primary challenge was to continue the teaching learning process with the students, and faculties and the staffs could no longer be physically present on the campuses. And the obvious solutions for the institutions was to depend online teaching and learning. However, within a relatively short time, maximum higher education institutions in our country have been able to provide support to the students through online modes. And COVID-19 has accelerated adoptions of the digital technologies to deliver the educations, and it encourages all the teachers and students to become more technology savvy. And the higher education institutions have started conducting orientation programs, induction meeting, and counseling classes with the help of the different e-conferencing tools like Zoom, Google Meet, Skype, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Webex, etc. Mainly to provide support service to the students. And these initiatives has taken to create an effective virtual environment of the teaching learning, and to create the motivations among the students for online activities. And the teachers and the students improve the use of electronic media for sharing the informations by making use of the WhatsApp, Google Drive, Telegram, Twitter, etc. And students are advised to submit the scanned copy of the assignment to the institutions through email. Even in our university, in other university also, students enter examinations sitting in their homes and send their answer scripts through the email to the concerned department of the university as well as the college. And institutions have also started receiving intensive reports and the projects through email during the lockdown for COVID-19. And so far as academic research and professional development is concerned, COVID-19 has both negative and positive impact on research. In my opinion, if we take the negative side, it has made it impossible for the researcher to travel and work together with other nationally and internationally. And some joint research work or project work are made complicated to complete. And some scientific laboratory testing and research work could not be conducted. If we look at the positive side, academicians got most time to improve their theoretical research work, and academicians got acquainted with the technological methods and improved their research. And webinars and e-conferences become the normal methods for sharing the expertise among the students and the academicians around the globe with similar issues. And they could get most time to concentrate on professional development by doing research and to improve the knowledge by sharing ideas through webinars and e-conferences, etc. And they enhance their technical skills and could get the scope for the publishing the articles in journals and publishing books in this free time, because around 1.5 years maximum teachers, maximum higher education institutions were closed down due to COVID-19, and all the research, maximum researchers and teachers get the time to do their research work, and they publish their papers in some journals, publish written books, etc. And so far as the educational assessment system is concerned, most of the external examinations have been postponed, and almost all the internal assessment have been cancelled. And the cancellation of the assessment has negative impact on students' learning. Many higher education institutions have been managing the internal assessment through online mode using different digital tools, but the postponement of the external assessment has a direct impact on the educational and occupational future of the student's life. And this uncertainty has created anxiety among the students as they are stuck in the same grade and class with promotions. Similarly, many students who had appeared final examinations would suffer a lot as by the time they get their certificates. It might be too late for them to apply for the forthcoming academic year in the other countries, other institutions due to lockdown. And so far as employment opportunity is concerned, many entrance tests, job recruitments got cancelled, which created negative impact with the great challenges in the life of students of higher education. And the Indians who have been doing their jobs abroad become upset of their jobs withdrawal also. In India, there is no recruitment in the government sector, and fresh graduates are in pressure of fearing the withdrawal of the job offers from the corporate sectors because of their pandemic situations. And many students may lost their jobs from India and overseas. And the pass out students may not get their jobs outside India due to various restrictions caused by the COVID-19. And all these facts implies plus the increase of the unemployment rates due to this pandemic. And the higher education institutions have responded positively and adopted various strategy to face the crisis during the pandemic. And the government of the India has also taken number of preventive measures to prevent the spread of pandemic COVID-19. And the Ministry of Human Resource Development and the University Grant Commission (UGC) have also made several arrangements by the launching of many virtual platforms with online depositories, e-books and other online teaching and learning materials and educational channels through direct to home TV, radio for the students to continue their learning. And during lockdowns, students are using popular social media tools like the WhatsApp, Zoom, Google Meet, Telegram, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Webex, etc. for the online teaching learning systems. And UGC released guidelines on the examinations and academic calendar in view of the COVID-19 pandemic. And all terminal examinations have been postponed and shifted to the July 2020. Later on, it was again extended to a few months. And the UGC and Ministry of Human Resource Development have taken some of the digital initiatives for the higher education during COVID-19 for the students as well as the other stakeholders in higher education institutions like e-Gyankos. e-Gyankos is a national digital repository to store and share the digital learning resources which is developed by the open and distance learning institutions of India. And items in e-Gyankos are protected by the copyrights with all rights reserved by the Indira Gandhi National Open University. And another platform digital initiative is Gyan Darshan. Gyan Darshan is a web-based TV channel devoted to the educational and developmental needs for the open and distance learner. A web-based TV channels devoted to the educational and developmental needs of the society. And another one is Gyandhara. Gyandhara is an internet audio counseling service offered by the Indira Gandhi National Open University, and it is a web radio where students can listen to the live discussion by the teachers and the experts on the topic of that day, particular day, and interact with them through the telephone, email, and through chat mode. And another platform is Swayam. Swayam provides the massive open online course, which is popularly known as MOOC, which 140 universities approve the credit transfer features. And Swayam provides high quality educational program through 32 DTH channels transmitting the educational contents. And e-PG Pathshala is for postgraduate students, and postgraduate students can access this platform for e-book, online courses and study materials. And another platform is e-Adhyan. e-Adhyan is a platform that provides 700 plus e-book for the postgraduate courses, and all the e-books are derived from e-PG Pathshala courses. It also facilitates the playlist of video contents. And another virtual platform is National Digital Library of India, which is popularly known as NDLI. And NDLI is a repository of e-content on multiple disciplines for all kinds of users, like students of all levels, teachers, researchers, librarians, library users, professionals, different levels users, and all other lifelong learners. And it is being developed at the Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur, and it is designed to help the students to prepare for the entrance and competitive examinations, to enable the students to learn and prepare from the best practices from all over the world, and to facilitate the researcher to perform the interlinked explorations from the multiple sources. And it is a virtual repository of learning resources with a single window search facility, and it is also available to the access through mobile app also. Then another virtual platform is Virtual Lab. Virtual Lab has developed web-enabled curriculum-based experiment designs for remote operations, and it is over the 100 virtual labs consisting of the approximately 700 plus web-enabled experiments, which are the designed for the remote operations, and it provides the remote access to labs in various disciplines of science and engineering. And this virtual labs caters to the students at the undergraduate level, postgraduate level, as well as the research scholars. Then another platform is eSodh Sindhu. E-Sodh Sindhu is a collection of the e-journals. E-journals, archives and e-books on long-term access basis, and it has the 10,000 plus e-journal and 31 lakh 35,000 plus e-book, and it provides the access to qualitative electronic resources including the full text and bibliographics and factual database to academic institutions at a lower rate of subscriptions. And another platform is Sodh Ganga. Sodh Ganga exists before COVID-19, and it is a platform for the research students to deposit their PhD thesis and make it available to the entire scholar community in open access. And the repository has the ability to capture, index and store, disseminate and preserve the electronic theses and dissertations submitted by the researcher in different parts of our country. Then another platform is Vidwan. Vidwan is a premier database and national research network which has the profiles of the scientists, researchers and other faculty members working at the leading academic institutions and other research and development organizations in India. And another platform is National Educational Alliance for Technology, which is popularly known as NEAT. NEAT is an initiative for the skilling of the learners in the latest technologies through a public-private partnership model between the governments and the education technology companies of the India. And it brings the best technological products in education, pedagogy on a single platform for the convenience of the students and learners. And the recent pandemic created an opportunity for the change in the pedagogical approaches and introduction of the virtual education in all levels of education. And virtual education is the most preferred mode of the education at this time nowadays. And the post-COVID-19 education seems to be an education with the widely accepted online and virtual education, which may perhaps be parallel systems of education in futures. And mobile applications or virtual meeting platform like Google Meet, Zoom became the virtual meeting hubs nowadays. And educational institutions directed teachers to engage classes through online mode using the virtual meeting platform like the Zoom and Google Meet. And the teachers who are not well versed with the modern technology and mobile applications had to struggle a lot to engage online classes due to the sudden shift from the face-to-face technology to online teaching during the COVID pandemic. And some teachers were just conducting classes because they were asked to do show. And a lot of students were just joining the classes to mark themselves present, and they hardly paid the attention towards what was being taught by the teachers, as a factor like class control doesn't exist on this virtual platform. And one of the significant questions arises regarding the online learning, that whether it is effective or not. And answer is that it is effective for those who have right access to the technology. And internet plays a very vital role for the better learning and for the higher educations in the virtual platforms. And the country like India and all students cannot be expected to have all the required facility due to different socio-economic backgrounds, and which might cause the discomfort and frustration to the students, which might give the students the feeling of the segregations and thus create a digital divide between the rich who can avail all the facilities and the poor who cannot afford to purchase the equipments that are the required for e-learning. So in India, a lot of the peoples are not completely well equipped with all the facilities, and many times they cannot get the access to fast internet, which is the needed at the time of the teaching and learning for online classes. Therefore, India is still facing these challenges of digital divide, and I think in future all the stakeholders of the higher education will be acquainted with the online learning and virtual platform, and gradually in future I think all the mode, face-to-face mode and online mode will be play a pivotal role for teaching, learning and assessment in higher education systems. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pradhan, for giving a very glaring presentation encompassing all the realities that lies in the higher education system during post-COVID period or during the pandemic period. Also, your paper was a very need-based paper, impact of COVID-19 on higher education in India. Really, you have focused all the things. Really, if I will start you before summing up your presentation before the August audience, so you have focused on the thing that's really after the upheaval of corona pandemic in India, including globe, the entire higher education system has been paralyzed out and out. And in the context of India, you have given very informative view, very factual information that 32 crore students, including school education as well as higher education, have been affected during this pandemic period. And the two major things, two major components, two major hallmarks of the educational system, maybe school education or higher education, that is academic atmosphere of the institutions and the examination systems have been lopsided. And basically, the academic system could have been managed to some extent, but the examination system has proved as a failure, a flop. The reason is that the students opted the online learning, online examination system, and the situation has paved the students to have this online examination system. And you have already told that in online examination system, they will never ensure a great deal of objectivity, and there will be no scope to differentiate between gifted learners, normal learners, and the slow learners that you have rightly pointed out and covered in your saying. And you have also highlighted the UGC circulars for implementation of the educational sessions by developing the academic calendars for managing the educational upliftment of the students and for managing the educational progress of the institutions. And you have already highlighted in the survey report that really we have seen that so if you will have the online learning system during pandemic period, or now if you have accepted that assumption that we have to adhere blended approach of learning, because the NEP 2020 is also focusing on holistic education by adhering blended approach in learning, because no doubt teacher will never be second to none, and effective and a resourceful teacher will never be second to none in the educational system. But situation will arise, another pandemic will come, because we have to adhere the educational system. For this, we have to adopt the blended approach, that is the combination of offline and online learning system. So far, when we were discussing on the online learning system regarding the online devices, the technological aids and appliances or technological tools, survey report has perpetuated that only 6% people in rural area were having the use of computers, whereas only 20% people in the urban area were having the use of computers, and in total 30% people are having that internet connection in India, by taking India as a case. And you have also highlighted the severe effect on the entire cosmos regarding the closure of educational institutions, and regarding in this period how the educational transaction will be managed through the use of different online platforms, Zoom, Google Meet platform, WhatsApp groups, Telegram, Instagram, all these things. And you have also highlighted the initiatives taken by UGC, NCRT on behalf of the MHRD, now Minister of Education, Government of India. These are Diksha, NCRT, Swayam platform, and MOOCs by UGC, Swayam Prabha, eBook, e-Adhyayan, e-PG Pathashala, other educational platforms like e-Gyanko, Sodh Ganga, Gyan Darshan, Gyan Dhara by IGNO, Web Radio, Virtual Lab, eSource Sindhu, Vidwan, all these things have been initiated, and they are already as the very beginning, very initial stage, and these things will be processed in near future. For this, in the context of India, there is the essentiality of digital infrastructure, the need of smart classrooms and a digital library. So if all these things will be universalized, will be actualized, or will be accelerated, then definitely our students will cope up, our educational institution will cope up. In this main situation is our teachers, as you have rightly pointed out, that our teachers must be acquainted with this articulation of these aids and appliances. For this, there is highly essentiality of training and orientation on their part to build up their confidence and to be ready for both online and offline teaching learning situation. So all these things to be taken care of. No doubt you have already pointed out everything has plus point, minus point, or pros and cons, or you can say advantages and limitations. So these will be the limitations. And in this pandemic situation, the major issue was, in one point there was assessment or examination system, and another point was rural belt of India. They have been affected very seriously, no doubt. And another thing was employment opportunities. Actually, if we will judge the quality out and out, there was no facility to judge quality out and out by taking the situation into consideration. So you have covered all these things. Definitely a miles to go. We have to adapt in the situation, because adjustability is the main concern of human life. Another pandemic will come, we have to cope up. But thing is that we must be serious, we must be cautious how the teaching learning processes will be carried out, and how the unlimited learning resources, these are available in different online platforms, how will we use it massively. And last but not the least, in my viewpoint, that teacher and online teaching learning situation, or you can say ICT and teacher are the two faces of the same coin. Now time has proved ICT and teacher are the two faces of the same coin for meeting any situation. No doubt, still we have to go for ensuring quality in higher education. Now, so far India is concerned as a developing country, there is quality assurance in higher education, because NEP 2020 has targeted 50% GER in higher education by 2035, I mean 2035. We have to take this bow, we have to take this vision. In spite of all these limitations, we have to do all these things. Thank you, Dr. Jyoti Shankar Pradhan, for experiencing your views, having a very comprehensive presentation out and out. I welcome you again, I congratulate you again, and expect in the future quality assurance activities to be organized by IQAC Yogoda Satsanga Palpara Mahavidyalaya. You will be with us as a resource person, as like this. Thank you, sir. Have a great day for you.
Thank you, Professor Mishra. And again, I would like to congratulate Professor Pradipta Kumar Mishra and his team, and all the members of the organizing committee and IPSC YS Palpara Mahavidyalaya. And I'm also thankful to Professor Pradipta Kumar Mishra and his team to give me an opportunity to share my view in such platform. Thank you again, sir.
Thank you. Now a big announcement for our audience, for our learned participants, as we are going beyond the 30 minutes late. So our valedictory session will start at 2:30 p.m. sharp. So please cope up with us, please bear with us. We'll start our valedictory session of these 2 days NAAC sponsored national webinar by at sharp at 2:30 p.m. Now the time is for lunch. So thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Dear participants, please use same link for the valedictory session from 2:30 p.m. Dear participants, please use same link for the valedictory session from 2:30 p.m. Thank you.